Hello there, good afternoon, welcome. I'm Wormslayer2146. It's Friday, the 9th of June 2023, and today I felt like just making a few more shapes this afternoon. Thought that might be a chill one to do. I've been feeling a bit rough this week. I can kind of hear it in my voice, don't know if you guys can. I'm just generally really tired out. Something in the air perhaps, who knows. So we're just going to keep this quite short. I expect, we'll see if I get dragged into it, but I expect just a few hours of growing a factory out, or maybe even tearing it down and redoing it more organised, and see what the game throws at us. Of course, we're at that kind of changing point where the requirements are becoming fewer things but more complicated. So it looks like there might be an opportunity to tidy up our factory at this point. And it's quite a chill game, so it shouldn't push me too far. We might have a good time with it. We'll see. If my brain gets fried too quick because I'm tired out, then we maybe wrap up a little early. We'll just have to see how it goes, I suppose. Let's hop into the game. Resume our little factory, why not? Check up with what we're in the middle of. Which this we did recently is nice and organised, right? Oh, but the belts still aren't full. Okay, must have upgraded something. So from this side we're getting purple thingies with white circles and the blueprint symbols. So that's for mixing and painting level up. That's the one that's furthest behind, I guess. And blueprint symbols we always need. Although, we can redo it. We've got enough in storage maybe for quite a while, if we did want to redo it. And then we've got a belt doing blue stuff, which is the extraction. And then the green and reds is for the cutting. So we're making all of the shapes, I guess. We just need one to kind of finish, because I'm assuming they're all going to go like the tier 6 on the belts, where instead of 5 different things, we want one. I was saying more complicated, but that's not a very complicated shape. It's a bit awkward. But that's okay. And it only wants 25,000. It's not too bad. Interesting. I'm reluctant to start on that until we finish these off and kind of tidy things up. Also, I don't know if the this little guy on the left for the progression, the unlocks to get the rotator, if he's going to be one of the ones needed for the other stuff. I'd kind of like to know that before we pick which one to do next. So we might just do more of the others. Like this belt of blue and white ones is kind of full, but the others aren't. 2 belts of that one. So we could do more of this one that's green and red. Let's try and scale it up if that's possible. Or do we just need to be patient for one to run out and swap it over to a different one? No, I think we could try and do more. The numbers are probably like wrong, probably unbalanced as we've upgraded stuff. So it might be simple to do more. If we can work out where we're starting from. So over here we're combining 2 bits. Having painted... Okay, so we've got 3 painters here. But it looks like they're getting fed more than they need. Even here it looks like they're being fed more of this layer. Which one am I working on? Let's go with the simplest one first. Pin that. That is not what we're making here, right? Right. We make this shape and then half of them get stuck onto this. So if we just made more of these shapes in general, that would be a good start. It looks like we're not feeding in enough of one, but we are of the other. Interesting. It's got plenty of green pointy stars. We could do with more red and white circles. Which... interesting. Not really making enough white? No, we are. We're just not using all of the mixers. Trying to work this out. I think it just comes back to the number of circles. So red circles. We're mining up 8 items a second and painting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 and 6/3, 8. So we're making 8 red circles a second. So if we want to do more than that, we'd need more painters and more mining. Sure, what do we fit on a belt anyway? 12. Why don't we work with that then? Mine up 12 of each of this, and then if we want 12 And each painter does one, or we could use double painter. Still haven't kind of worked that out in my head, I guess, and I should. We can use double painter to get more efficient, or need less dye, but it should also go faster because it's doing 2 items a second, 1 item per input. Did we check that? I swear we did, but I can't remember the outcome of it. I just want to throw something through it to get the numbers right in my head again. If we're mining, I don't know, a whole bunch. Feed that into a bin and then get the speed reading. Two is coming out. Yeah. It's 1 of each in, 2 out. Which is faster than a painter that does 1.33 items a second. I guess. I hope. We've got some space to play in, I guess. So if it's making... Try and do in a similar layout to how we've done other things, with these running up the sides. Just might be possible. Lends itself to it with where the output comes. So they're doing 1 of each in, fine, that's a later problem, but 2 out each. 2, 4, 6. It's 10, 12, gonna need to move it, but that's fine. Then you need to go under here, so we can feed the dye in as well. Seems fine. Just need to know, can each machine get fed right? Yeah. So if you've got 12, got 6 machines, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So the belt's feeding 12. And you divide that in half, so 6 on the left, 6 on the right. Each one takes 1 out. Should work fine. Let me just remove this. That's where they're going. Bear that in mind. We'll mine them up fresh as well. Grab all of that. Cut it and move it. Maybe rotate it. No, okay. Over here. Gonna have to move everything else anyway. Keep it organised or whatever. Let's put that there. So we have 12 circles being drilled up. Just tidy that up a bit. It's 12. Put a splitter there and feed it in. So split it in half and then 6 goes up the left, 6 goes up the right. Each machine pulls 1 off. Should be good. Then we'll only need 6 red dye, because there's only 6 machines operating at 1 input per second. Yeah, should be right, based on how I understand these machines. Let's join them together. Plug that in. But that should make 12 red circles, I'm hoping. Which we're then cutting right, because we just want the alternating corners. So we're cutting them into quarters in a messy way. And then flipping some of them around and rejoining them. Yeah, that whole thing can be done a lot better because we've unlocked the 4-piece cutter. So we're feeding them into the white and the red, sure. That makes sense. How are we doing this then? We've got 12 in now, so we can do 6 and 6. 6 in... No, because it's half and half, so it's 12 halves go that way and 12 halves go... So 12 halves go white, 12 halves go red. Like I say, kind of just have to redo everything, so... I know that slows us down temporarily, but hopefully speeds us up overall. Might not be worth it, but it's fun to play with anyway. Need A shape to play with. Let me gut the whole lot. And all that. That's the point where they're going in, being added to the green stars. We're making the white dye there, though that might not be enough. And the red dye. Was probably coming off that patch, probably deleted it. Never mind. Over here then. Let's run that way instead. And this time we can cut into quarters directly using the 4, and that does 2 items. Mousewheel does not want to play nice today. 2 items per second, we need 6 of them. So some nice efficient way of doing that. Doesn't look like it. All in a row then. I guess, or a little further forward because I don't have the compact splitter. So that'll be there. But further forward, sure. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So we get every quarter out. Don't need to cut or rotate or anything, we just need to take top left and bottom right, and they're already red. That makes a lot of sense. And then bottom left and top right need to go off and get dyed white. Okay. So top left is the first on the right, bottom right is there. How do we do this? Do we just join them all onto belts and then move them around and rejoin them, or can I do it cleverly here? I doubt it. So we did that, send that one under, wiggle them in, and then it doesn't line up nice, put that one there, wiggle that one in and send that one under. We get the 2 we're after. It's not awful, it might be as efficient as taking them elsewhere. We've got the space. The joining though. Joining is 1 item per second. This is making 2. So no, that's no good, right? Working at 2 per second, it's 2 in per second, it's 2 of each quarter out. So the joining, we'd need 2 stackers for each line, so that's no good. If we're going to join them, so we go this way. Can't go there, so that one's there. That one's there. And then the last one can't quite reach, so we need to use the other underground. It's there, so we should be able to grab all that. Just listen a bit there. Should join them all together. It's 12 in, so it's 12 out. 12 on each line here. So we need then 12 stackers for each type. Can we fit them neatly next to this? So we can do that kind of thing for the outputs. Need to move it up a bit. Over there. That's going that way. That's the inputs. So if I copy that, that's 6 items. We need to do 12. It's a bit longer, but short. That's the outputs, and we just want to join top left, bottom right. we should get that bit. Yep, that's good. Then we do the same design next to it. Leave a little gap. Plug the other two sides in. Okay. Now that should make 12 of each half. Should they? Yeah. As far as my brain understands it all. So we need 12 white dye. Mixers doing 1.6. So we need 7.5 mixers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's all good. No, there's not enough of each colour going in. $12 of each colour going in. Then there's enough input and mixers to be doing it. Can that get tidied up now? No, still can't reach. All place is a little messy, but doesn't really matter. It's fine. So that should be making 12 white dye still. That's fine. Then we just need to paint like this. Same as this. Hopefully. Can I fit that anywhere? I mean, that way round is fine. What goes where? The dye goes there. So if I do that, plug the white dye in. Which shape are we dyeing? This is the one we're dyeing. So that plugs in there. This is the one we're not dyeing. So then we've got the white and the red alternating sides, and we just need to join them, same as this. Which doesn't really fit at all, no. Okay, let me gut the whole lot then. Yep. Sure. That can go there, that way round. Can do. Plug that in there and bring the white ones into the other bit. Should do 12. Which gives us the circles we need. Now we just need 12 green stars. Which we definitely don't have. Stars are coming all the way from down here. Let's up that to 12. Make sure there's 12 green dye coming. And then redo the painting, I guess. Yeah, because we can do that neater. We gut that out. Take the painting layout we've got. Flipping it would be nice. Because the side, yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll line it up. That's where the stars go in. Let's go with there. Bring the green down a bit more. That should make our 12 green stars, which place is a bit of a mess, but there we go, we'll wiggle it around. They are going, or these are getting stamped onto that. Right, so if I grab that, put it there, we're just going to flip the output of that one around. Now they are the underneath, so they need to go on that side. They need to go on that side. Just move that over one for... move this all around a little bit. That's there. That's then consistent distance. Let's turn that around. Join there. There we go. That's that fixed. Okay, so that is 12 of that shape per second being made. Good fix. We then also need to make this one, which we're kind of doing half and half. We could just finish off this shape and then turn them all into that one. So if we do 12 of the background shape ready for that, would be good. Which is what this is kind of doing. 12 of them? Oh, we were only doing 4, I guess. So yeah, quite a big upgrade. I could have done that neater still, but never mind. We want to do 12. So there's 12 of those, and we're using both halves, so 12 of those is fine. And I'm just gonna tidy that up. Well, actually, let's tidy all this up. We've brought those shapes in, and again, what we were doing is cutting it in half and then half again, but we can probably go into quarters. Would make sense to do so. So that's, I mean, that's the same as down here, right? I can just grab all of that. Not quite that. Let's go with that. Gonna need a lot more blueprints. I'm using the blueprint a lot more than we were before. So we'll have to upgrade the speed we're making them at soon as well. There we go. Then we get the 4 different quarters, 12 of each. We do need to rotate this time. Right, yeah, because we want top left and bottom right square. How fast does rotate go? 8 items. So that splitter creates 2 lines of 12. Can then just rotate, so this could be bottom right. Yeah. And rejoin them. Should be fine. 12 becomes 2 12s. 8 of each rejoining should be fast enough. Silly though, because I've already got bottom right square. That's... let's rotate the other way. We got bottom right. No. Wrong one. Or did I just not flush it through enough? I didn't flush it through enough. That one. There we go. Top left and bottom right, so they're good. Yep, and then up here we want bottom left, so that one's okay, and top right, so that should go that way. Yep. I want to do the joining, same as we did here. Grab all of that. Can it go there? Sure. I have no idea, but we might want some of the red, but we've got access to it, that's fine. So it doesn't really matter what order we do them in at this stage. Keep it kind of neat. Should I dye them beforehand? No, because they're different colours. So now we want to dye them. So we want 2 sets of colouring. Plug the squares, or the square bits, into there. The windmill pieces into there. And then we need 12 of each colour. 12 of that and green, yeah. So which is which? The squares are going green, which, let's get that in line then. The windmills are going red. So the final stage is to get those 2 parts and combine them together. Back together. Now that they're flipped and organised. Which... yeah, let's put it over here, heading back towards where it's going. Yeah, but so that one and that one. close, which is good, I guess. Maybe. There we have the right shape in the right colours. Looks like it. Looks good. Okay. Copy that. And then we need this shape, the original shape, to be on top. So this one needs to go that side. And this... How far are we? I'll split it now. I think it's quite a distance from finishing, so might as well do both together. Same. So we'll just split it in half here and send a bit back. And the output of there. Rejoin here. If it's the right shape, I hope it is. Looks right to me. I guess we'll find out if the number doesn't go up. Some of the machines seem a bit... Oh, this is outfitted to do twice what it's doing. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll finish this one first and then we can pump all of them in to that version, and that'll speed that up when we get there. For now, both can tick along. So yeah, we would expect this to not be running at full capacity, that's fine. This should be running full though, which looks like it. Output seems like backed up a bit even, so... Even faster than full. Seems good. A bit tidier, but still not as tidy as it could be if we, start organising better. Don't know, we'll see. Maybe we'll just always be a bit messy, don't really know what I'm doing. Good, so those and those are now full. We could... I mean, they've got two belts, don't know why. They're different shapes. Okay, so we're probably doing a similar amount of them. Progress on this one is finished. We've reached the 50,000. I'm assuming we don't need them in the future when we get to the next tier, hopefully. So we could now turn them all into the other one. I'm not sure if we planned ahead for that on this one. Looks like we did. There's like way more stackers there than needed. So what are we saying? This shape isn't needed anymore. So they can all go that way. And then this... Yeah, it's not the neatest flipping of those, is it? Let's put that under there instead. There we go. So are we making... Might need it to feed through, but looks fine. 12, yeah. And here. 12, yeah. Good. So that should up the speed of that, double the speed of that one. Good. I mean, we can make more. We could set up more because we've got more inputs on the hub and just try and speed these up even more. Or I might look at just doing more blueprint icons because we're going to want them regardless of what the next tiers are. Where are they being done? Just out of interest. In the middle of all this mess. They're not a complicated shape as long as we can mine out the kind of plectrum shaped bit. That can be improved, can't it? Yeah. Try and pull it. I mean, all this other stuff's going to go. So if we could do it somewhere else and then we can gut the whole lot when the purple ones are done, might be nice. Do we have this shape somewhere better? Not that that's bad, actually. We could just send that a different way. There's the blue. We want that shape and circle and all three dies. We have them here. That's not really better. I don't know, closer might be better. Though I doubt they are. We would have used them in the first place if there were. And we could reform it out of square and circle, but easier if we just find it in the ground, so to speak. Up here. Ain't bad. All three colours are there. Circles are further down. There's no like plain circle up here. Yeah, there is. And that shape there. It's a bit further away, which doesn't really matter. It's not like that has any impact. It's far away from everything else we've been doing, which means it's out of the way if I do start gutting big areas. Maybe we do up here. Why not? Well, I guess the other thing is we're about to upgrade everything. So we're going to build in something that's going to change pretty soon. Maybe it's not worth until we get to... I mean, we're always going to be upgrading stuff. Let's do it. Let's do it up here with the 12 per second on A belt, or even maybe 24, 2 belts worth. Get a crazy amount of them, just in case. I mean, we can, so let's. We're going to mine up 24 of these. Those 2 lines are there. 24 of these. 2 lines there. Might change where they are, but just to show me what we're playing with. And then we need 24 blue. But only 12 green and red. Red was up here, I thought. No, down here. Might use this one behind then. The better ones over there. Not necessarily. Let's feed in from back here. Of them, okay. So I think I'll make the white circles further up. So we'll make white dye maybe just above the green here, which is going to be using colour mixer 1.6 per second. We just want to do 12 in this case. So that's 8 of them, yeah. Might cut and paste it in a second. Let's line it up first. Going that way? Sure. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. With that being that side, might want to do that differently. Line that up with that. In the middle somewhere. Let's go with there. Send the green the other way. So that's going to make yellow. Do we then want to feed into the other blue? Maybe there isn't the best spot. Doesn't really matter, I guess. Can't ever get the perfect layout. Gonna have to juggle things around constantly, so shouldn't worry too much about it really. Could just put it in front, unless what we end up doing is extending them. So yeah, let's put it next to it. Let's do that, but turn that round. Bring one of these sets of blue this way instead. That in there, and we should get white on that end. Just then going into 2 sets of the circles, so I can take what we did down here, if I can find it, over here. For changing colour of 12 items. Where should we put that? I'd say like here. Maybe. Sure. It's fine. We can... So at the moment this is based off feeding a line in there and it splits it both ways. We could double the length and feed 2 lines in. Or even like that and that. And then the belt would be able to feed 12 machines. Which I guess is tidiest, other than we need to get that blue underneath it. Turn it round. The circles are over here, so we could just do 2 of them. The output, though, yeah, the output is restricted. Yeah, we'd need 2 output belts, in which case, why don't we just have 2 of these? Like that. But forward one. Forward 1, yeah. Go there. Spending a lot of these symbols, I guess. Split that there. Go under there. And yeah, feed the circles in to turn them around as well. It says 24 white circles per second. Nice. We could do more. It's a relatively simple thing. And the resources are here, so, I mean, let's. Sure. A relatively simple thing. Let's do it. We do that, I mean, let's just cut everything and not try and juggle too much. The white, there'll be a second line of white that comes in from somewhere else, maybe. So yeah, we might want to juggle a lot of this around. It's one set, so we just want to do this again. Where is best? I mean, above it's fine. Really, yeah. Get the inputs for that. Into there, another set of reds. Into there, that feeds around, and then another set of blues. To there, we should get the extra white out. I'll just bring that down so they're both running there. Copy that lot. Fits fine there. That's just going to move back one. One of that. System thing would be to go from there. That's what we did there. Jump the whole splitter. Cool. One line white in there, one in there. That was simple enough, and I think correct. Feels right. So 4 lines of circles now. One into there. Just keep that adjacent just for the sake of it. Into there. And that one into there. 12 each. Am I missing something here? I feel like I am. That's... Oh, yeah. The machine dies 2 at once, which is why we have half as much white dye as circles. That's cool. What we get out the other end is 4 lines of circles, is that right? Yeah. Sure. So that's 48 white circles per second. We need 48 blue plectrums per second. Which means 4 rows of these. And they need to be dyed, so where's a good place for that? Kind of want to get these out the way. Bring the blue from the different direction. Do them down here. Blue from over here. That patch isn't as big, it might be a bit funny shaped mining, but I think that might be better. And this is what we're doing, right? We're doing this much of the same deal. Copy that. Where does that go nicely? Yeah, back here. Yeah. So those currently are the dyes going in from that side. We'll juggle them around a bit. How is it lined up there? Split ahead one. So there. be there. Does that block anything? No, it's fine. As neat as it can be then. And then, yeah, we just probably want the dies to come from the other direction. Can you flip them round easily? Don't think so. Hello there, Jinxie. Nice to see you. Hope you're well. Hope I'm having a lovely day. Not bad. Not bad day. Bit warm at the moment. That might be what's making me so sleepy this week. Very sleepy this week. Bit weird, but you know. Play some chill games. Won't matter so much, will it? Lurky while you worky, fair enough. Hope the worky doesn't go too bad. You're almost at weekend time, hopefully. Sleepy week for you too. It's a bit weird one, really. Don't know. Weather or phases of the moon or something, but you know, I'm sure we'll get over it soon. And more time for playing video games then. Am I enjoying the game? I am enjoying the game a lot. I don't know why I enjoy it so much, but I do. It's kind of like it's got all the challenge of the factory games without the kind of running back and forth, I guess. I like that everything's free and you can just delete it, rebuild it, that kind of stuff. It's like playing, you know, the factory games that I enjoy, Factorio or Satisfactory type games, in God mode, which, you know, is fun. I just need to strip all that back and redo it to get it right in my head. 2 runs of die coming this way. First one, yeah, there. Split. Under there and join. Good. Second one there. Under that 2, split there. That one there. Join there. You find factory games very intimidating. Yeah, I understand that very much. There's a lot of math, I guess, or at least it appears like you need to do a lot of math. You don't always have to, you know. I think sometimes they have a lot of flexibility that the games communities might not be so welcoming of. Make you feel like you need to do lots of math when you don't really need to. But even this, even Shapez, it looks simple, but it gets very complicated. You do have to kind of break down your processes into logical steps and organize them and keep your head around stuff and do the math of, you know, if my belt carries 12 per second but my cutter does 2 per second, how many cutters do I need for each belt, and so on. It's not, I don't know, I'd say it's not that casual. This Shapez is a casual factory game, but factory games in general, I guess, are just not that casual. I guess. No, it's not your strongest suit. That's fair enough, you know. I think for many people, either, you know, numbers or changing numbers can be quite complicated. Really can. Seems like it engages the brain. No, it's very good for that, you know. It's healthy to challenge your brain and push it, so I do like doing that. But you know, this does it or games like this do it in a logical and numerical fashion, but it's good to challenge your brain in other ways, you know, with language and you know, information as well, different ways of pushing it. So I do like other games that don't have factories in too. 4 lines, not 4 lines, we just need 2 lines, alright? Yeah, 2 of each. One lot into there, 1 lot into there, hopefully. Did say it's more forgiving, which, yeah. If you were going to get into factory games, or you wanted to start with a simple factory game, this is a good one to start with, because it's because you can tear everything down easily and rebuild very quickly, the kind of copy-paste and blueprinting mechanics are a bit more complicated, but in general you can build whatever you want and delete it and rebuild it at no cost. So it's not like Factorio, where in order to take something apart you need to, well, first you need to run over there, then you need to dismantle all the pieces, then you need to, you know, juggle what you can store in your inventory and whether you need to make multiple trips and find a reuse for each bit. And even if you want to build something in the first place, you need to plug together so many different elements before you can, whereas here all of the tools are available to you. It's just the game says make this shape, and then you have to work out the processes to do that and plug them all into each other. So you do the actual factory part with none of the kind of I guess it's a logistical thing, but that kind of like, I guess, role-playing elements, the bit that adds the story, your inventory, you're running around, your vehicles, your stuff like that. Is this looks correct? That splits, that's good. We've got 4 of them, so we've got 4 full lines of blue plectrums facing the wrong way, 4 full lines of white circles. So if we want to get these facing the right way, we split, use the rotator to turn it counterclockwise 1 turn, and then we can rejoin them and they'll be facing the correct direction now. Good. Created assuming Satisfactory is basically 3D. It's significantly different. They're both factory games, so Satisfactory and Factorio are both the kind of headliner factory games for the different dimensions. So Factorio is the headliner 2D, and the Satisfactory is the headliner 3D. But there's no, I guess the core logistical difference is there's no inserter structure in Satisfactory. You plug the belt into the machine directly, like you do here in Shapez. You have a machine, like the cutter, and you draw the belt straight into it. Whereas in Factorio, you have a little gap here, and you put in a grabber that grabs from the belt and puts into the machine. And how you connect the different elements in, how you lay it out within your 2D grid becomes very relevant in Factorio, whereas in Satisfactory you take the belt, split it in half, send one of them into the machine and the other off somewhere else or whatever. So how you move your belts around is a bit easier in Satisfactory, I would say, because you don't have to think about how many inserters there are and where and what they're grabbing from. It's just like acknowledging type. It's fair enough. You know, if it's not the game type, the genre that you typically play, then you wouldn't know the difference. You know, you look at 2 factory games and go, well, what is the difference? And I would be the same with 2 fighting games. You know, why would I buy Street Fighter instead of Mortal Kombat, or vice versa? Like, what is the difference? I wouldn't know, but people who are into fighting games could give me a good explanation, hopefully. It's getting to me. Thank you. You're welcome. It's fine. We and there are others. There's tons of other factory games that I have played, I guess, but never really got into like Factorio. I want to get into Satisfactory a lot because some of it, you know, it is different enough that it would be fun, but the game's really, like, it's still early access and not ready, so I'm waiting patiently. We have just unlocked or finished supplying these shapes to upgrade our extraction speed, and that's a simple one. Now that is interesting. So tier 5 extraction's done with mining quicker now, which doesn't really impact anything. We could just remove some of the drills, which we can just leave them as well, it won't hurt. But our extraction tier 6 requires the same shape as our belts, distributors and tunnels tier 6. I was not expecting that. We just need the one shape and we just need the same one. That's interesting. So when we get 25,000 of that shape, we can... no, it consumes them, right? So we need to make 50,000 in order to unlock both. So we're kind of just picking which one we want to unlock first, but then keeping it going. but we just want to make one shape on big... It'll be interesting to see if cutting, rotating and stacking is the same shape as well. It's an interesting change in what it's asking from us. Very interesting. Done many discussions with friends recently about the pros and cons of early access. Yeah, it's a bit of a minefield for some developers, I'm sure. If the thing you're buying is the thing you want to buy, then there's nothing wrong with it. I've bought plenty of early access games that have changed or that haven't changed, but the point where I bought them, I wanted what was being offered to me, and that's good. And at least you can kind of see, because you have access and other people have access, you can see what you're getting. So I find early access is better than pre-ordering, for example. I've pre-ordered a game and it's not been what I expected. That's much more disappointing. But yeah, it's good to be able to give an independent studio that needs the cash flow a kick to get stuff done, you know? That's, I guess, its intended purpose. It's not so great to, like, feed a major studio that should have better budgeting, but is, you know, playing with their profit or whatever to get the money early and then saying it's about development decisions and connecting with community and not actually connecting at all. You know, like I say, a bit of a minefield maybe. You generally wait if it's AAA, but okay if it's, yeah, but yeah, I mean, sometimes it just depends on what stage the game is at, how long it's been in early access. Like Satisfactory's at like 5 years in early access, that puts me right off. Is this what we're doing? We're doing a stacking next. Over here? No? Yes, between these. Just got to join all them together, leave a little space. Let's put that there. So 1, 2, 3, 12. Yes, we need 4 of them, but not necessarily there. What we'll do is bring them down. All the white circles as well. Or how does that line up? One's there, then that one's there. That's pretty good, actually. Ah, that's the wrong way around, right? The white circle has to be on top, so that should be there. They should be lined up with that. Okay. What do you want out of the game as well? Yeah, I mean, I kind of stopped pre-ordering games completely. The last one I pre-ordered was like Farming Simulator 15, maybe, and that was because I knew exactly what I was getting. Like, it was just another farming simulator, same as the last one. It would be a bit like pre-ordering a FIFA. Like, you know what you're getting, can't really complain. Before that, you know, years ago, pre-ordering something like Spore, which is renowned for not being what was promised, you just get put off it. But then an early access game comes up and I can watch, you know, someone on YouTube or Twitch play it, talk about it. It feels like a better system, really. All in all. Just gets abused, I guess. I'm not sure if that's the right word. Abuse isn't necessarily the right word. There are certainly people who've done it to grab the money on a promise and then run. Not finished. Then again, you know, that's not really different to previous systems of creating a game under a promise you're going to patch it and improve it and then just not patching it. The same kind of things happen in the past, just a bit less visible maybe. Where am I going with these? Where's the hub? Over here. It's a long journey. Should we try and do a straight line? 4 lines coming in. necessarily want to overdo the length of this, but I will paste a few in. Yeah. Where are we going? Quite a way further. I can paste from here, that's good. I'm just going to line up with that, put that in place. There, or let's go with there. Might cut through some things we end up wanting later. Doesn't look like it. It's close to some things. Maybe. We'll see. Should be plenty on the map that we don't need to worry about that. Join them corners up. Enjoy watching streams like me, able to experience, yeah, figure out something you want. And have the discussion as well, yeah. Talk about the experience they're having and try and work out if that's what you would enjoy. Or if the, you know, the streamer gets really, really angry and frustrated with it, then maybe that's a sign you don't want the game. Or sometimes that's a sign you do want the game. Different people obviously play differently. Just because I don't have fun with it doesn't mean you, the viewer, wouldn't have fun with the game, or vice versa. It's because I'm having fun. So yeah, I think Twitch, especially with the ability to have that discussion, is a nice platform to have. We've talked before about, you know, this is all on a bit of a grey area. The developer of the game could turn around at any moment and threaten legal action and stop everything, you know, and there's a kind of a bit of goodwill floating around Twitch and YouTube too that really does work in the favour of, you know, those kind of situations, you being the consumer wanting to make an intelligent decision, an informed decision about whether you buy the game or not. But yeah, all the time, I don't think I've bought a game for 5 years, 6 years plus without first watching hours and hours of other people playing it. Ooh, I got an achievement. Deliver 25 blueprint shapes per second to the hub. I got another achievement. Deliver 50 blueprint shapes per second to the hub. We shouldn't have gotten that. We're producing 48, so I don't know how I got 50 per second. But sure, I'll take the achievement. That's pretty good, actually. I'm pretty happy with how that's come together. We managed to get a really, really high number of them. It should help us. So these shapes are a kind of currency that you spend to do copy and paste. Basically, they're the blueprint shapes, as they call them. So the more of these we make, the more copy pasting we can do. So it's nice to have 4 full belts of those running into the storage. It's good. Love you some achievements. Yeah. I know it's cheap, but I do enjoy getting achievements. Almost there with them. So we've finished off. So green and red and purple. So the blue and white ones here we're done with. Yeah. So we can strip all this back now. Having fiddled around with it so much before. Just grab all that. Make sure I'm not overlapping. Yep. Delete it. Big phase of tidying up as we hit this tier, because we've just been getting messier and messier, so it's nice to now have a point where it's kind of tidying things up on its demands, which lets us tidy up our base. It's flexible, but there's a currency cost. Yeah, only for that. So every other shape it's asking for, you feed it in, you spend it to get your upgrade, and then either the next tier needs it or doesn't need it. And if it needs it, you keep your production lines there, and if it doesn't, then you can rip them out. But in general, there's no currency for doing the building. It's just the pasting is what costs. So if I grab all this and copy it, it tells me I need 660 of that shape in storage in order to paste this. And that's, you know, that's what that is used for. Oh, I know why we got 50 a second. We got the old line in still. We're still doing 8 per second here. Okay, so we are doing 56 per second. Okay. Is there another tier of that? Just out of interest. There's some hidden achievements, so maybe. I wouldn't know. Okay. We'll make more later. When we do each... when we upgrade the belts and we upgrade the machines and stuff, we'll do more looping shapes as well, so... I guess we'll find out if there's another achievement. We're very close on all of these, really, aren't we? It's not really worth starting anything else, although knowing that we need double of that shape and possibly more, tempted to do it. I do just want to know if the others want that shape or this shape or whatever. If they all want the same shape, I'm kind of happy with that 12 per second on a line thing, so we might just do a bunch of progression tiers. Just focus on doing large numbers of them initially. We only need 20,000 of that shape to progress with it. Isn't many. 20,000 is... It's quite a few actually, but you know. Also don't know if it pauses when I open that screen up. Kind of looks like it does, so maybe I should keep it closed. If I pin that, it does tell me, okay. When that reaches 60,000 we can flip that thing over so we get more of the other one. Start working on this. Or at least find somewhere to do it. We need a circle, a semicircle and a pointy star. So it'd be quite efficient if we found a jellyfish near a circle. So the jellyfish we did before over here somewhere. Yeah, there for example. Because that shape gives us the top pointy ears and the semicircular mouth or whatever it is on this in one shape. So rather than like the other option is getting a circle, cutting it in half. We need half as many then, and a pointy star cutting it in half and flipping the, so you flip the bottom and flip the top. But this is oriented the right way round and would need more of them, but still, like, they're here. Quite a lot of them. They're upgraded, aren't they? 12. It's just that many now. Interesting. Things are getting slightly clearer. Yeah. Shapes makes a lot more sense when you play from the beginning because it tiers up. You know, it starts by, oh, we want a square, then it's, we want half a square. Then it's, you know, half a square turned around and quarter square, and then you get the stick the square on top of a circle and so on. So here, yeah, we do have options, which is interesting. Take them and cut them. It doesn't cut nicely, so you need to rotate first. And then we'll be rotating again. That's interesting. Need to rotate that, or both of them, back to the way they were. Which is a bit fiddly, and that's compared to just have a circle. Be cutting and then rotating both of them, sure. That one countering that one clockwise. And then joining them together, I guess, some fashion. That's all them. It might be better. Interesting. Guess it depends where things fall. So we need a green, and then you make yellow by combining green and red. So we want green, red, circle and star, and potentially jellyfish. I mean, circle and star are quite simple, so they'd be quite close to the hub. Jellyfish less so. And yeah, over here we've got green, red, circle and star. No, I kind of like the idea of using the jellyfish, but the fact you have to rotate it first is annoying. Unless we can find a spawn that's facing the right way. We still need to rotate it after. But if it's semicircle on the left and pointy bits on the right, we wouldn't have to rotate it before. Not that it really matters. Like there, the cutter always goes down. So that'd get the two halves we want, but they need rotating afterwards. So it's neither here nor there. Although that's there, and it's got green. It's got red nearby in circles. South of the hub. It's not a bad spot around here. Kind of like it, actually. Let's imagine we were doing that shape here. And as many of them as we can, I guess, to get it done quickly. This will let us do 5 lines neatly and more if we juggle around. Let's go with 4 lines. That's one side of the hub. Just do 4 lines, full lines. So with them, the first stage with them that way around is to cut in half, which happens at 2 items, so you need 6 cutters. Leave a little gap. That'll be there. Put everything into them. You need to leave a gap. Don't have to. Might help with getting things moved around, yeah. So maybe even have it set back 1. And a gap. Just set back 1. Let's try that. There and there. It's cutting 2 items per second, so the rotator that operates at 8 per second could be done after they combine, or like they're free, so we can do them now. If we turn other way, pointy bits up, semicircle down, yep. Do all that initially. We can join the lines heading that way, kind of. That's not going to work. It's going to clash. That one needs to go under to get out of the way. That is fine in theory, but then when we paste it here, it doesn't clash. But it kind of does because they're in the way of that running on, so we would need a gap or something. The 6 cutters doing 12 items per second are outputting, yeah, 12 bottom halves. So we get 4 lines of bottom halves and 4, yeah, okay, that's fine. I was wondering if it was combinable at all. It doesn't seem like it. It's not that neat anyway, is there a... Maybe turning it around would be good. Maybe. I'll keep playing. Just strip that back for now. What if... Yeah, like that way round? I guess the other way. Yeah, the other way. Let's start again. So that one would turn, split, and then the cutter can go there. 5, 6. Same deal with rotating, right? They all go clockwise 1. Nope. They all go counterclockwise 1. Looks better. And then can join them up. They go underneath. And tidy that up a bit. Okay. So it should be 12 pointy bits a second, and that should be 12 semicircles per second. And then that is a bit neater. We can put that all in a row like that. Plug each into the bottom. And then the outputs will juggle around a bit. I mean, where are they going? Upwards. Don't really know yet. Might leave them there for a minute. And we've just got an upgrade ready. So that's the purple ones are done. The mixing and painting is going to happen faster. And it does want the same shape. Next. The purple ones are done. And I'm happy we just have 4 lines, so everything this side can get stripped out. All the way over here. 7,000 bits destroyed, just like that. Good, so that tidied up. That changes potentially to the speed that we're mixing and painting. So a colour mixer does 2.4 items now. A regular painter does 2, and the double painter does 1.5. So a lot of what we've got built here is no longer most efficient, but I think we'll leave it. Might just leave it until we upgrade belt, and then redo everything to fit the faster belt capacity. For now, we just have too many machines in some places, and that's not a bad thing. Like, it doesn't cost us anything, so who cares? Doesn't change anything we've done down here either, yet, so that's fine. I do just want to, yeah, bring these together somehow. I guess move that there. Bring the pointy bits together. Just initially send the semicircles under. Bring them together too. At least that's kind of organised and ready. Green circles are easy enough. We need to turn the pointy bits green and the semicircles yellow. That's slightly awkward. But we've got plenty of stuff around to do that with. We have. We've also completed 60,000 of that shape, which means over in where we're making them, we no longer need half and half. We can cut that, and everything will go to be stamped onto the other shape, which is ready for that. And the throughput of that last remaining one will go faster now. Okay, turning these green, I guess. We can do that over here somewhere. Maybe we can change the angle of them. They do overlap a bit with all that though. Let's go under there. The long undergrounds. There we go. And then over here we'll do some colouring, which the numbers have changed, so a regular painter does 2 per second. The double painter now is going to output 3 per second. It's just strictly better, I think. Can't work it out. So 4 of them is going to output 12, 1 belt. Okay, so we can reduce the number to 4 of them. Do the little layout. I guess we'll do that. Input of the shapes as before. And the colours, I guess they're coming from the other side, so it might be nice to change that, but you can't flip that machine. So I guess, okay, has to be like that. Could pull from there, could rotate them and pull them from here. But there's, yeah, more here. Anyhow, there's 4 lines, so we need 4 of them. Sorry, the outputs. Oh, and the inputs need splitting off, don't they? That's there. And there. Okay, that's one block. If we want the green from here, we want 4 lines of it. Fine, fits kind of nice. Move that up so that we can get those. Redo that. I didn't need to redo it. Could have cancelled that. They're going to be there. Just want to line that up first. And that's going to split off like... not split off, feed in. Okay. Should be able to still, yeah, recall what I just got rid of. It's the first one. Could go this way round. That'd fit okay like that. Sure. Line the output up to the front of there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back 1. There. Join these as well. Like that. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So I'm covering over a bit of that. That might be an issue. We'll see how it goes. That one. There will be our 4 lines of green semicircles. No, green pointy bits. Yellow semicircles. Green goes into there. Send it under. First one goes there. It's 4 of them. 3 go under there, 2 go under there, 1 goes under the end. Enjoying watching the thought process. Don't know if you could puzzle it out. I think, like, you probably would be able to, you know, whether it takes longer or you end up with a different result. It's all fine, you know. But yeah, it's, I mean, that's the whole point, I guess, is this thought process, this kind of, how do we get the numbers together? How do we get the colours together and the shapes in the right orientation? I enjoy that very much. Shapes is a good one for not putting too much in the way of that process, you know, letting you just get into it and having fun with it, making funny looking shapes like this green goblin type thing or whatever it is. Okay, 4 lines of green spiky bits. I think that's good. They've only stopped because we aren't moving the semicircles, so the cutters are backlogged. If we get them sorted, we'll get some movement. They want to do a very similar thing. Like so similar, I think I can copy pretty much all of this. And line it up over here. Might move it all up so it's all neat and in line a bit. Could be interesting. Just need to worry about, so getting the dye in. Put that there for now. To worry about how we get the dye in at the bottom there. Which we can make from over here, that's fine, I think. So yeah, if I want to just line all that up, it's because I like things being neat. Cut and paste all of that. In line. Looks good. Fill them gaps in. And redo that. There we go. Good. Yellow then. We've got green. Quite a bit of red over here if we need to go that far. Oh, down here, that's not a bad spot. Do it next to this and feed it in. Perfect. So if we want 4 lines of 12, no. This is unnecessary. We can do this different. because the machine does 2 shape inputs to 1 colour. We need half as much colour as shape, so we could do less. How would I do that? I would put a splitter in here. Send that forward and under. Into that one. Send that one under here. Put a splitter. Keep going and put that one into there. And then the 2 outside ones are not needed. Move them. I might still use them miners and get rid of them. Cool. Does mean we can move all of this to the right. There we go. Good. So we need 2 lines of yellow input here as well. We can change all this. Glitter in there, send that one under. Same deal. Can't wait to see the test run planning. Is fascinating. Well, that's the thing. This is it. This is running. For better or worse. Like, there's nothing to plan over. We just throw it down and then rebuild it if we don't like it. So it's all operational. There's no cost to it. That's the cool thing, you know. But yeah, like you say, it is kind of the phases of it, though. Like, we're in the planning phase of throwing things down, moving it around, and then at the end, when it all works, we'll see the lines full of the finished product. It'll be interesting. There's our last upgrade, a tier 5 done. Cutting, rotating, stacking is now upgraded. And all 4 want the same shape now. It's very interesting. Very different to the previous tiers. That does mean everything east of the hub can be ripped out now. Yeah, finished products, yeah. You can see what they're going to look like, but it's, you know, actually bringing it together is pretty cool. And seeing all of the stages that lead up to it as they meld together is great as well. That might have changed some things here. We're now cutting at 3 items a second. And rotating at 12. Okay. Sure, stacking at 1.5. It does change some things. Which we're not so far in that we couldn't just redo all this, or not start again necessarily, but juggle it around. I think I would like to. Yeah. So if our belt is at 12 per second and our cutters now do 3, then we need 4 cutters per belt. So I can cut them there. We don't need to rotate there anymore. We can join everything together and then rotate. Because the rotators now do 12. Which is what the belt does. So I can grab all that and attach it there. If I just throw some bins in, it'll let things move. We should get pointy bits, semicircles, and the 4 should be doing 12 per second. Good. Okay. So it's going to just change everything under there. Rid of that smaller section and build that out. Realign the inputs. And then our new 4 lines coming out the top can be lined up, so that's going that way. Could move everything down now. It's a bit unnecessary, but you know. Actually, with that patch of green there, don't want to move too far down. Like 2? Yeah. Move all of that down to there. It's going to cost us 10,000 blueprint shapes to do, just to move everything down a little bit. which gets us an achievement. Place a blueprint of 1,000 or more buildings. Cool. But thanks to our super fast blueprint shape production that we just did, we can afford that pretty easily. So that's fine. Okay, now move that to there. Get those pointy shape inputs over here just fine without clashing. Send the semicircles under. Then it would be kind of nice if that all moved one to the right, just to line up with that. Should be there. Good. Painting didn't change, did it? No, good. So that's all fine as it is. That's now squished into a more efficient block thanks to that upgrade. And we're back to trying to make 2 lines of yellow. So the last stage of that, or the only stage, is to mix. Yeah, mixing red and green. Blue. Need to check. Red and green. Yeah, right on that. Good. The mixer is now doing 2.4 per second, and a belt is 12. So you need 5 mixers per belt. They'll be like that. Line them up. That's what we're going to have. We're keeping it neat or ready to tile. Probably keep it neater than I do. I can do that next time. This is fine. So that's 1 belt's worth. We need 2 of them. The inputs are good. Let's just get it lined up neater with this. There seems good. Maybe there. No, up a little bit. Actually up more. Let's start in the same line. So there and there is our 2 yellow lines. Colour mixing, you're excited. Yeah. It's interesting getting used to, obviously I'm taught, or we were taught here in the UK, different colour mixing. Like your primary colours are blue, yellow, red, maybe. And this is slightly different because green is one of the primary colours here, so sometimes I used to have to check which go together to make the other colour. It's based on, I don't know the terms at all, but you make purple, cyan and yellow by mixing these 3. It just takes a bit of getting used to, I guess. Which makes which. And obviously white by mixing all 3 together as well. Here we want, let's go that way. 2 rows of them, 2 rows of them. That green into there. That one into there somehow. Let's go over and down. And that red under there and in. And that red into there should be fine. Don't need those squares. Seems fine. Green is primary. This breaks your brain a little. Yeah, just it's not immediately obvious for me. Yellow comes from green and red, and cyan is green and blue. Purple is red and blue, and those are the ones you mostly see. Sometimes it asks you, like here, for a bit of green, which you can just get out of the ground. Keep it easy. Yellow outputs of here are going in there. could still all move down a little bit. Like 3 squares there we could clear out. Sure. We've got the shapes to do it with. To there and that. Yeah, that's doable. Go for it. Totally unnecessary, but I do like things being very, very neat if possible. That in there and that in there. And that's all good still. Cool. 4 lines of green ears. And this should make 4 lines of yellow smiles. Not sure if it's going the right speed. We can read the line and find out. These are outputting 12 like they're supposed to, so it should be okay. When everything gets up and running. See how it goes. The last element of this shape is a big green circle. So we need to make them as well. Have them available. There's green and circles here, but not many. More circles, more green. Okay. Or even over here, we can make them coming down and then go over with them. The stage after this is stacking them together. So the yellow semicircle needs to go on top of the green circle, which needs to go on top of the green pointy bits. The one going on top is on the right hand side. So that works very well if we get them lined up here. Potentially. Doesn't really matter, but potentially works well. So yeah, could do them here, now putting down and then bring them over. Or I'd rather do them down here, I think. Rather do them in the gap in line using these inputs from the right hand side if we can. So this is not... Oh, this is the same deal, painting. So if I just grab all of that again, line it up in the same spot. Inputs are kind of blocked on that, okay. Can we do anything about that? Not really. I think we're going to have to separate it out a bit more. Which is okay, not the end of the world. Separate them all then? I think you're going to wish list it. Curious. I think it's free. It's not free. I think there is a free demo. An extensive one. Check that actually. Because it's available on Steam, but originally it's browser based. Yeah. You head to the original website, you can play the demo version. Or, whatever it is, not sure entirely what it is. But yeah, it was originally a browser thing, so you can just play it in browser if you want to try it out. You're welcome. Random thing, but I'm going to turn that around. Don't need to, but I'm going to. So we can free that up by moving everything back up. I know you spent a ton to move it down, but we could move it back up. In order to get the lines in, we can wiggle the yellow lines so they go over, then up, then over, then up, in order to make space to come in, or we just move that entire block to the right. It's not much room on the right, but there's enough. How far do we need to go? Ideally we'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 to the right, which we can just about. Can we? We need 4 lines of circles. Don't think we've got that there. Ooh, might have a circle shortage. Okay, might need to just bring them further. Not the end of the world. If we did bring them from above, we could flip these round and avoid the issue by bringing them in from the north. Still not quite lined up right there. I think what I'm going to do is move this lot 4 to the right. Then move all of that lot as well. realign these. They'll be a bit more wiggly than they were, but that's okay. I mean, I could move all those to the left in order to avoid that, but that is not important. That one's going there. Clear all them out. Yeah, fine. That lets us get into there easier if I can get them circles down here. I can get the green, it's easy enough. Into there and there. Are the circles below us? I don't think there were. No, at least not nearby. Come on. It's 2, 3. It's close, but we can only get 3 and or 3.8 lines out of here. Not the 4 that we need. That's not enough. Okay. Should we check that before we started? I do still have these ones. We could be a little silly with it. Sure. We do... can we do it neatly at all? Not really. They can go there, they can go there, all there. Yeah, I don't like that. We can point them in that way, sure. That in there, and then over here. We won't need as many. We need to go around all that. I don't know, lines up okay in the end. Not amazing, but okay. A 3.8, yeah. It was close. If we upgrade the drills, then it will go better, but still. With what we've got, this will work. Some from there, some from there. It should create us our 4 lines of green circles. Good. So we're going to bring them and combine them here. Probably just need to make a new... I'm sure the numbers. Stackers now do 1.5 per second. So a line of 12 items needs 8 stacking machines. I'll make it and then I'll cut and paste it to where we use it. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, join them up. Okay. Ins and outs all fine on that. Okay. So we need 4 sets of that for each time we're combining stuff. It's easier to turn it the other way, maybe. Ooh, interesting actually. It's a 2-stage process where this feeds into the next thing. So we could do just down the middle here. That one there, and then that one that way. It's a bit... but whatever. Could do them the other way round if we did them else there. Yeah, whatever. That one into there, that one into there. The output of this into there, and then one of them into there. Maybe, but they might be the wrong way round. They are the wrong way round. Okay. Then let's just bin off everything it's making. Just grab all that and move it up so that input lines up there. There. Might not fit perfect or whatever, that's okay for now. That one goes in that side. That one goes in that side. What, none of these because I've got none of them, because we're not moving on this side. Let's keep them moving. It's an interesting one. Need everything to balance, really. Might have to kind of flush things through to get it flowing properly. But, you know, for now, to see it, it's all good. We might do that. Before we leave it running, we'll kind of flush it through a bit. Okay, we get a circle with a yellow semicircle on there. That's the correct way round now. We take the spiky top, and we put that shape onto the spiky top. We should get the little green dude, like in the picture there. They look the same to me. Good. So that's one belt's worth of doing that. Okay, can I do anything with the inputs? Don't really need to. The outputs. They're there, that's there. That's fine, I think. So I grab all of that. I can just run that to there. And grab all of that. Kind of. Just drop 4 of them in and then fix how those inputs line up. The input there, that feeds in there. These ones go through the gaps. These ones go in the other side. And then I need to get those outputs out. Here as well. What's in them under? No, it's in these under. So there's one there. Next one's going to be there. Plug all that in. You should have 4 full lines of that shape running here. Like I say, I just do kind of want to reset the throughput of the shapes involved. Can't see the circles being an issue. They're kind of a separated production line. It's the bit that's getting cut into pieces that needs tidying up, making sure it's all good. Because if you cut it into 2 halves and you take one of those halves and start doing stuff and leave the other one, the system backs up a bit because one of the halves is stuck in the machine. And then everything kind of gets imbalanced, so I'd rather feed in equally and get them consumed equally from the start. Just want to flush all the machines out and feed them equally from the start. I guess means removing the bits that are sat around, maybe. Why not? Tidy them up a little bit. All that there. Good on those stages. Just gonna flush through all these, I guess. It's tidied up at least. So that one's they've got those shapes right. Let's flush all that as well. And can't really, they're stuck in the machine already. It's going to be close enough though. Just flush those lines too. Circles are fine, I think. I doubt it really matters. I'm sure it's going to be okay. We can tidy that up as well. So we'll tidy this while we're here. Rid of the funny bits of belt we don't need. Seems fine. Let me remove all them bins I've thrown around the place. The end's there, and then if we reconnect to the start, should get a nice good flow of everything as it all comes together. In the meantime, we need to connect to the hub. We're kind of in the south of it. I don't know whether we connect to the south or the western edge. Let's go on the southern edge. Bring that from here. It's going to be the left edge. Where do I want to turn? Here, I guess. Love it when the plan comes together. Yeah, it's looking good. We've got the shapes coming out the end now. It's plugging into there. So we're doing 48 per second. We need to make 20,000 to get the unlock. So 7 minutes of all 4 belts feeding into there, and it'll unlock our 180-degree rotating machine. Pretty cool. Approve it. There we go. 12 per second of each. Nice. Whew. No precious here. It's all good, actually. A lot of the kind of designs were copy-pasted from stuff we've been working on recently. Nice and neat and tidy. You know, a few lines here and there that aren't, but that's okay. Everything's kind of lined up really nice. This factory block looking pretty cool. And seemingly working perfectly. Or at least we're not under-producing. We might accidentally be overproducing somewhere, but that doesn't really matter. That's very cool. I guess while we're waiting the 7 minutes to unlock that, we should work on the next upgrade shape. I'm very surprised that it's the same shape for all the things. We need to make 100,000 in total of this shape, but that's all we need to make. Compared to quite recently when we needed, what, 22 different shapes being made at the same time. We now just need 3. These ones on the left here now. It's a bit weird. But okay, we can do that. So this shape is a white pointy star stamped onto a purple plectrum shape with the top left corner missing, which is very interesting. Lots of ways of making that. Not sure how we're going to do it. I mean, the white star is obvious and easy, but the other shape is just weird. So I mean, it's going to be a long way from each node to mix this together. Is it the volume that makes it a challenge, you wonder? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the shape is inherently difficult because that missing corner, that makes it interesting. There's different ways of dealing with that. The volume 100,000 is not that much compared to things we've been doing. You know, it's been asking for 50,000+ of specific ones. And even of ones that have like 4 different tiers, and this only has 2 tiers on the shape. Layers, you know, on the shape. But maybe it gets weirder from here, I don't know. Tier 7 is unusual, but it's kind of like a breakpoint where it really has changed. So it's interesting for sure. Different challenge now, definitely. It could be a volume thing. So this weird shape we've got, let's say we're going to make 4 lines still. That gives us some options. We can take a plectrum shape, like the one we've got here. Rotate it to the right orientation, cut it. That doesn't matter on the rotation yet, actually. Cut it into 4. Stick back together some of it, but not all of it. Easier if we do rotate, then cut into 4. And then we're just missing the top left one, so we bin the top left, rejoin the others, and we'll get the shape we're after. Like, obviously the ratio here is wrong, but you know, we do each thing individually, each stage of this individually, but this process can be done. And somewhere, either like anywhere, we dye it all purple. Doesn't matter whether it's before or after. but that's, you know, one way of doing it. That would require us to mine 1 for every 1 we want. Quite simple. And we're wastage, you know, we're bidding. That's wasteful, but okay. It's one way of doing it. Another way would be to mine up squares and circles. We take quarter squares, rotate them all to be the bottom right. Join them together. There we go, there's a bunch of bottom right square pieces, and then the circles, cut them in halves. Quarters, I guess. We want top right and bottom left. The others get rotated, so this becomes a top right. That becomes a bottom left. Top right. That becomes a bottom left. Maybe. Yep. And then join them, I guess. And then stack them. Stack them. And there's the shape we're after, which we would need to dye afterwards purple. That numerically is more complicated. Every line of the shape we want, we need half a line of circles. Or half as many lines of circles. So if we want 4 outputs, we need 2 circles in and 1 squares in. So we're turning 1 into 4 and 1 into 2 here. More complicated but less wasteful. Yes, exactly. More processes involved, but nothing gets binned off, and the number of extractors on the map would be fewer. But extractors are free. Everything is free. So I don't see any reason to complicate it like that, really. It's an interesting approach to it, but I don't see any reason to do it. The plectrum shape that we would be starting from will be further from the hub, because it's an unusual shape. So if we wanted to build closer to the hub, we could use circles and squares because they're closer. And stars are pretty close anyway. So you know, if we wanted to be closer than that, would make sense. There are further out, like much further out, weirder and weirder shapes. But I've never seen any spawn in a patch with a corner missing. I don't think that happens. They've always got 4 corners, so if we want a corner to be missing, we have to cut it away. I'm pretty sure of that. Oh, 7 minutes are up. We have unlocked the 180-degree rotator. Cool. Gives us another option. So instead of rotating twice to the right, we can just use a single machine to do it. What does that mean for us? Where's the hub gone? Here we are. Now that is interesting. So the next level, level 19, the shape that we need to unlock the compact splitter is the same shape we need for all these tiers. So now instead of 100,000 we need 125,000 of it. I thought that might happen, but I didn't expect all 4 of these to be the same. I just expected 4 different things here and this. So we only needed this shape once. We're done with it now. We can rip that all out. Unless it's needed again in the future. We can just immediately rip the whole thing away, which doesn't feel great, but okay. It's interesting change now. We just need 2 shapes, blueprints and this one. That's it. That's all we need. It's weird. I mean, it does mean we could have like 4 inputs of blueprints and 12 inputs of this shape. Make a lot of them. Would speed things up. Maybe we'll do that. Can make it both ways then. Weird. I'm scared to get rid of it in case it is needed. Yeah, there's been cases so far where things are needed after it looks like they're not. You know, where the next level needs it again. And maybe tier 7 belts will be this shape, so I'm not going to remove it yet, but I'm half confident that we could, and it wouldn't matter, which is... How long did we spend building that? An hour or so? Yeah. Okay, so what I want to do this shape is... Well, there's a few options. It doesn't have to be plectrum. It could be... Lemon? No, what are we going to call that shape? Can I find one? And then we can pick a name for it. It'd have square alternating corners and circular other corners. Here. So instead of taking the plectrum and cutting the corner circle out, we can cut the square out of this one. Which, I don't know, it's a bit like a lemon, isn't it? A line? Or a football? Could be a football. Talking wasteful, yeah. All that building, just to rip it out again. I think we'll call that football. But, you know, that's another option. We could cut the corner out of them. Or even this. What is that? That's like a arrowhead? We could cut the pointy bit out, and that would be the right shape. Wrong way round, but right shape. Okay, there are options. We need something like that. Plectrum, football, or arrowhead. And we need pointy stars and all 3 dies. Ideally. Oh, gonna take some hunting to find that. Just some confusing my head, maybe. Trying to work it out. I guess we start maybe with a star. We also want to, I guess, approach the hub from either the right or the left if we're doing 4 lines. Both if we do 2. We could juggle it. We could move them to the left-hand edge and then use the bottom right. So I do want to be in this direction, maybe. Too many options. Yeah. Yeah, it makes it hard to know what to look for. I mean, we could even do it with this shape that's a semicircle and half a square, because you could cut it into 4 and then rearrange them. It's possible. But, you know, a bit more complicated. Actually, it doesn't really matter. Work just as well. Just needs to have 2, or it needs to have at least 2 bits of circle. That's the main thing. Yeah, I'd like it to be over here somewhere. Got stars around here. Got all 3 dies up here. Big patches of dye out here with plectrum, but no stars. No. Stars are closer. Okay. Green, red, blue here, star there. It's not amazing, but it's there. Or here. We get even closer to this. No, not really. What about up here? No, okay. This is the area, I think. Bring them and turn them white here and dye the stars there, so... Yeah, we got these shapes around here. They'll do the job. And the colours to make purple. Okay. What's the best? That one and take the bit of windmill out? No, that's not right. These work though. Because you can cut that into 4. Then bin the top right square. Rotate this clockwise once. Yeah. We get the shape we're after. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Good. So we're going to use them. They've got blue and red there. In fact, we could use assume it, yeah, 4 lines? 8 lines is what we're aiming for, right? Going crazy. I'll leave 6, 7, 8. Sure. Just turn them round. So we can line things up neatly. There's 8 lines of those shapes, which we will work on somehow over here. They're going to need 4 lines of red, 4 lines of blue to make their purple dye. They might need turning around or whatever, we can deal with that. And then over here, I guess, we need 2 lines of white, which means 2 lines of each colour. It's not too bad. That'll work. We can bring them together. And then 4 lines of stars. That does not look big enough. There's more nearby, I guess. Just like to do it, you know, I like to work in squares, I like to keep things in chunks or blocks that are quite close, which doesn't look like it's going to happen, so could be a bit messy, this one. If we could, this would be the best one, so let's have a look. What can we do? It's 5 drills each. That one gets wasted, we can't attach it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. We can turn them round so they line up or whatever. It's not terrible. Wait, I've got this wrong, haven't I? We want 8 lines out, which means 8 lines of white stars, which means 4 lines of white. Four lines of white dye, 8 lines of stars, yeah. It's fine, you have to run them together, so over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that. It's kind of the only option. Unless we can... Nope. Okay, and then that one there. Let's just check all them, just to be sure I'm not crazy. 12 each, yep, good. Turn these around a bit, maybe, yeah. Just those ones. We'll check them as well, just to be sure. Those don't look right, is it? Just too close to the bin, confusing the reader. I mean, the extractors say they should be making 12, but the belt says they're not. Oh, there we go. Got there eventually. Okay. Good. We'll find a way of bringing this all together, I guess. Over here somewhere. There's 8 lines of stars. The drills to make 4 lines of white, which will create 8 lines of white stars. Over here, 8 lines of the shapes we need, whatever you're going to call it. 4 lines of the purple to colour them. Seems good. We've got all the drills down that we need. May juggle what direction they're facing and stuff soon, but that's fine for now. Kind of feel like making the white stars just to see what space they take up. So that's where the stars are. Can we make the white above it? Probably. So have we got colour mixing? Yep. Grab that. What are we going to do? I mean, just combine them in order, I guess. Heading left. 4 lines though, it's going to take up more space than I think. But sure. If that's there, turn the green around. Put that one offset to there. Move it more, but yeah. No, and then needs a bigger gap. In which case, I might change that, or do we rotate it? Could do. If I can work out how to juggle all these things. So 4 lines of this here. But also 4 lines of red to mix in with it. Can they fit above? Yeah. Okay. With putting that here somewhere. Can't quite line up with it there, can we? No, so let's go with there. First one in there, and last one in there. Makes more sense for that to go under, right? 1 under instead of 3. Maybe. They're going that way, might just have to juggle each one. Let me grab that much again and just make 4 of them. Keep the blues in that edge. Then the reds under. That gets us 4 lines of purple out the end here. Which we then want to add the green to. This is going to be the best way of doing that. Because I can just line that up there and find a way of getting the green in. If we leave a gap that big, could feed the green in over here. Might be fine, should be fine. Maybe the finished white star is going to be going that way. That could work. Other option, put it over here and we just need to feed the purple back. Could turn the way around so the purple heads up instead. And then we'd have to move everything down. Let's go with this. Feed the purple straight in. Bring the green over. The purple under that stretch. Feed them in. My 4 lines of white are here. There we go. Complex planning for this one. Yeah. Just the space involved, and that I'm trying to do 8 whole lines this time, twice as much. Takes a lot of machinery, I guess. The actual building of it quick, because we can copy and paste so quick. We've doubled the amount of blueprint shapes we have just while we're sitting here doing stuff. So we can copy and paste as much as we like to get it built quick. It's just working out where everything goes that's going to run me in circles. But that's fine. We've got 4 lines of that and 8 lines of that. So the next stage is the colouring one, which is this block. This produces 4 lines, so we need 2 blocks like this. Which I guess we want to fit here-ish. Heading up here, yeah. We might need to turn some of the in-feed belts around, but that's fine. If we were to do that. Then the colour input would be there. Can't show you, but right there. So we line that up with after them. It could be, confuse myself here. Yeah, it could be there. That could be the first one. Though getting the shapes in, yeah, is not going to fit there. Okay. Okay. So we actually need to leave this space for the shapes. That's what I need to work out. Cut this back. That's adjustable. We need 8 lines of shapes to fit in wherever we're going to feed that. So if I put it in front of those machines, I need to leave 8 spaces essentially, or 10 for a bit of leeway. Which is fine, or we don't do it in front of that, we just do it over here. And then we need space behind them, although they are the shapes we're after, so I could just turn them around. Kind of like the idea of being as close to things as we can, so... those still need juggling around though. No, that's not going to be a good idea. It's not going to be a good idea. Using the wrong button. There we go. They're going to feed in there. That's really where I want it. But then that, yeah, doesn't leave enough space above it. But it's fine, we'll just turn those drills around and have it funny shaped. That one... Ah, no. No. I do need to move that down. So we'll flip these and then I can pick them back up and it'll be more obvious what I'm wrestling with. That one is not going to be there. Two, one, and send that under there. There's the other 2. So that should be up a few. Not there. That one there. And the first one there. So that's fine in terms of inputs. No, it's not. They should be down 1. As we're running a line there, the next one's going to be there. So that needs to move up 1. That's running in there. And then there's 2 more lines running in. Those have got jumbled somehow. Go under there. Which means that moves up to there. The last line running along here. Can't cut in, that needs to go there. And the drills are in the way. So I'm just going to remove them for a bit and we'll put them back in after I've got this in the right place. That's there. Joined up seems okay. Good. That's what we're after, it's just that that is no good because it's overlapping there, so we just need to move all that down. So it's not overlapping where those drills are going to go. Leave a little gap, that can go there. Rebuild them, even though we're probably going to change it in a minute. There we go. Can plug the white in this end. And we just need to see to plugging in the rest of these shapes. That one all the way. Oh, okay. Clashes with the green. We can wiggle the green around a bit, I guess. Or I kind of have to, really. One of them has to get wiggled around. So let's wiggle the shape around. That one into there. Into there. And then that one's just going into there, so that's fine. Could bring them down. It's a bit neater if we just bring them both down here. Slightly. One into there. Then we hit a problem, I guess, here. Could have moved everything further down so I could run that in loops, but that's unnecessary. Just going to take all of them and have them face different ways. Into that one, and then them into that one. So 2 sets of 12. That one there and that one there. Okay. 8 lines of white stars done. Not going to fit any machinery there, so we'll bring them into 8 lines. And the combining will happen to the west of here. Okay. One stage of the process is done. Not sure which stage that is, but still. Let's make these shapes we're after then. The background one with a bit missing. Or do we want to dye it first? Might dye it first, just because of the location of everything. Let's dye them purple and then cut the piece out. Sure. So let me grab a purple making section. How are we going to arrange these? I have to send the blue around the back of it all. Could do that. Bring it over here. How is that going to line up though? You bring those belts over first so I can see that. Okay. Maybe up, down, and in again. Or perhaps more relevant where the red ones are going to run. Let's say they run here. We open that. First input there. Let's go with there. Doesn't matter. Not there. Make something? No. That's there. The up one. Yeah, I do like to be consistent. Let's move it up one. Only 1600 blueprint shapes to move it. We've got 200,000, so we're good. Blues into there. That doesn't need to go under though. And that gives us that's not connected right. There we go. 4 lines of purple dye. Good. And the shapes are there. So now we need this whole thing again. So even that's only 6,000. It's not that many shapes. Blueprint shapes. What's the best orientation for this? Could be this way. Just plug it onto those lines of purple and then work out how we get the shapes in after. Or what if that lined up nicely with the last one? And with them lines of purple. There. Should go straight down. Very nice. if I build up in the right place. There we go. Let's do them corners first and then we'll do the last bit. Eight lines of purple, whatever these are. Cool. Let's bring them all together and work out the next processing stage in a separate kind of block. Okay. So we got them shapes there, them shapes there. In between here and there, we need to cut and remove part of all of these. The cutting happens at 3 items per second. So we need... each belt needs 4 cutters. Which... what's going to be the best way to turn it around? Probably. So that belt will get brought up here. Split into cutters. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. See what the outputs are. So we need to get rid of one of the squares. Let's go with the bottom one. The other square is in the correct position already. It'd be nice if it didn't keep binning itself. That circle is in a good position, so the one at the top just needs to go clockwise once. There you go, flush that through. And we've got the shapes we need, good. The stacker works at 1.5 items a second. So for every cutter we need 2 stackers, so we can't just stick stackers on the front of this. Unless we did twice as many cutters as we need, which I'd rather not. Rather, I guess, join these lines together and put them into another chunk of processing to bring them back together. So 3 lines need to come away from here. We'll join them, then them, like that. There we go, under to get that. No, what have I lined up wrong here? Oh, the bottom one gets binned. Just put them in. Next one up goes all the way out. Next one up goes there. First one goes into there, and then join them up. Just tidy up that end. Okay, so that should be 12 quarter squares, 12 quarter circles, and 12 quarter circles on each of them, all facing the right direction. We can, especially because I didn't rotate them properly. The rotator works at the same speed as the belt, so we can just do the rotation at the end there. Let's just flush that through a little, get it moving. Okay. I think. After a bit of time we should see all the right shapes at the top there. Yep. Looks good. Okay. So we need 8 stackers for each phase as well. That's awkward. Okay. We'll pretty much straight away do one of the blocks. Stack there. Put to there. Like so. There's 8 of them. How far are we? We're pretty close to this, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but some space would help with juggling, maybe. Actually, yeah. That's just the first 8. That combine those two. We then need another 8 to put that bit onto them. Unless we reorganise this to have 3 inputs somehow. It's an interesting theory. I don't think we can do that neatly. So that's there, and then plug that into there. That goes under all that. Okay, maybe it can work. One line in there, there and there. Maybe. Flo doing. Hello. Welcome in. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Do 8 cutters and direct merging. Yeah, I did say that's an option. Do more cutters than we need and then just put the merging immediately in front of them. Actually, probably take up less space, wouldn't it? A lot less space. Because this is extending each cell that much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of 2. So we would not have space to do that there. We're going to clash with those lines to build all that. So unless we extend an alternate direction, it might be possible. We can look at both and see. You know, we're in no rush to do anything. We can see what the options are. Yeah, we'd get the single output. That's quite tempting. You're right about that. You just have a single line that comes out of here that's all done because it's happening. And the only inefficiency is we've built more cutters than we need, which costs us nothing. So who cares, kind of thing, you know? The other thought I've got is turning this around. Move that over somehow. The inputs don't line up very nice for this at all. It's another reason to do it. That's there. Really doesn't line up nice. Go there. Grab that. Put it there. Yeah, still not nice. They line in. That can go around the corner. That can feed in there. And that goes to there. Gets the right shape? Yeah, it gets the right shape. It's not overly messy, it's just, I think, not very space efficient. Copy the cutter and merge direct behind it. Copy the cutter and merge direct behind it. Not entirely sure what you mean by that. I'm going to play around though. Hi Jinxie, welcome back. How's it going? Okay, just playing with some different ideas on how we get this quarter of this shape missing. You know, get it cut out. Let's take a look here at if we overbuild the cutters. So instead of 4, we build 8. I need to move it over because of that, but we can imagine. They'll feed into there. We still bin off the bottom. We still need to rotate the top. But then we just merge. Ah, that's annoying. But it's not that way. What if... So what I want is to be able to merge like that without the gap. If I rotate, how can I control that? If I rotate clockwise, this moves to the top, right? Which is the one we're binning. And they all move down one. Not sure that's possible. Got 1 bin output, 2 and 3 merge. And yeah, 4 rotate. So the moment... we could rotate the shape afterwards as well. That's an option. But if you merge those two, it's wrong. One of them has to rotate. So I want to split the quarter circles up so I am not merging them into each other. So that I can rotate them separately. Bottom to top, bin that one. Merge them to, yeah. But what we've got there is this, I guess. Whereas I would like to have that most space efficient option, and should be possible, I hope. Might not be. Might not be. But if we rotate this shape, let me just get an example. If I rotate the shape clockwise once and cut, separates them, but by too much. It's the only way of separating though, isn't it? Because if I rotate it again, if I rotated it halfway around, the circles will be next to each other at the bottom. That might work. No, it doesn't, but it... because we have to rotate them all now. We can rotate afterwards though. Okay, so if you merge them, you get that shape. Then you rotate that one counterclockwise and merged it. You get that, and then you rotate that counterclockwise and you get the shape we're after. Okay. Not sure that's worth it, because the rotation at the end takes up the same space as that bit of belt. It's a bit neater though, or could be, in theory. We just have to half rotate before, which we can do because the rotators are the same speed as the belt. Just rotate them as they come out of here, or even before they go in there. Rotate them as they come out of the mines. In theory. Doesn't quite fit in that gap, so let's just do them here. Then cut all that back. I just need to clear that through a bit, don't I? So we get past that point. Over here. Yeah, so when they're that way round there, we're good. Then I can rotate that way at the bottom. Bin the top. The mergers right next to each other, how I want. Stackers, sorry, get the name wrong. Then we do need to rotate, but we can do that at the end, so join them all up. All the way at the top there, we rotate counterclockwise once. And we get the shape we're after, 12 per second on one line. It's shorter and thinner than this option. It's just we built more cutters than we need, which is, yeah, like I say, I don't know why that bothers me. It shouldn't. We're also binning stuff, and we talked before about how that is wasteful, but, you know, so what? If it's the best way to get the job done, then do it. So I say we do that. That's very compact and neat, at least. Just gut all of that out. Finish the design here. We can paste that much. Just join there. Something's not right there. For some reason, that's not aligned. What have I done wrong? All that. Just pasted it in the wrong spot now. Let me not make a mess and get that right. Sometimes waste is necessary for the efficiency. Yeah, just to get it, you know, done. And then space-wise, it's very nice actually. Saves a lot of space. That's all good. That goes there. Just change that. And we don't need that. Seems good. Rotator at the end. Say there. And the correct shape is coming out the top. Seems good. That's there, the first one. This can move over. Look at that. Get that example out of the way. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Happiest. The other way was just a bit convoluted. I guess, like we talked before, about the other way of making this shape was just too many extra processes than necessary, so seems good. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So we should have 8 lines of this shape pointing the right way. Still don't have a name for this shape, I guess. Don't know, a heart? It's a bit like a heart, isn't it, on its side? Maybe. Purple heart. Bit grim. And then the white stars up there. So the last stage is just stamp them together. Put that on top of that. Sure. Might be best done quite some distance away to get the lines tidy for the input. Down here and going up, I think, forward a bit. Always support the hearts. Oh, there's a little purple heart. Yeah, the Twitch heart. That's nice. We can say that. The heart with the white star on top is what we're making. Is it that bit? No, it's just part of this, isn't it? It's that much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stackers. Yeah, sure, okay. Each line needs one of them. So if they were here, could be okay, although, yeah, moving the lines, a bit awkward. We should bring the lines together first. They're there, so if I needed to go under, I can get under all them pretty easy, and then the first one can go there. Or even back here a little. Let's go with there. Eight of them, doesn't clash with that, that's lucky. Good. Plug them in. And then plug these in somehow. Fourth one is... oh, that's perfect. Have we just gotten lucky there? Wow. 3 of them come this way. It's the wrong way around. Oh, it didn't reach. We need the other kind of underground that goes further. And just, you know, consistency. I'll make them all that tight. Line them up in the right place. There we go. Them under there. I have got this the right way around, yeah? The shape we're making here is the one we're after. Looks good. Looks right. Okay. Good. And these are this way. Like that. We don't need anything that we've built over the top of, but should be fine. Okay. 8 lines of them in, 8 lines of them in. 8 lines of these out, hopefully. Where are we in relation to the hub? All the way over here. Okay. Let us strip this back to here. We'll send them that way instead, although currently we don't need these. If we did need them in the next tier, though, I would want to have them stored up, I guess. So I should keep feeding them in while we can. Doesn't hurt us. We've only done 8 lines of this. If we'd done 12, we could disconnect these temporarily. Don't have to destroy the whole thing. Could just unplug it. Plug it back in later if I'm wrong and we do need them. In any case, do we just bring all 8 together? Send 4 one way and 4 the other. Let's just bring all 8 together. There. Let's fix that little wiggle I've done there. There we go. We want that one is going there. Could do that much. It would take long at all to get the 25,000 for the progression unlock, and then the upgrades, I guess, a bit longer each, but not that long. The other shape was what, 25 at 7 or something? I don't know. 7 minutes. It should be like half that per thing. So a little while to get it all unlocked, but there we go. So many lines. Yeah, that's a lot of lines of the same thing. And in theory, the next shape it needs us to make, we're going to have to disconnect something. But this shape will let us unlock upgraded belt speed. And if we've got upgraded belt speed, we can put this many in on fewer belts, which will open a space to put something else in. A little bit, probably not enough. Just have to see what it wants next. If we're lucky, we want more of this shape next, and we've already fed in a bunch, but I doubt it. I think we're going to want something new and complicated. But we'll see. It's ticking up, so we've made the right shape. That's a good sign. The flow seems good everywhere. Belts are just constantly full all the time. There's the purple shapes, then they get cut. Turned the right way round, fed in over here, make the purple, make the white, feed it in, colour the stars, spread them out, stamp them on top. Big scale. Interesting. So I guess the green shape's the odd one out here. What's going to happen is we're going to unlock the next level. We're going to unlock the compact splitter, which is nice to have. It's going to tell us the next shape we need for the next progression level. We're going to start working on making that. Meanwhile, this continues to go in and is used for unlocks. Good. By the time we've designed in the next shape for progression, we should have unlocked everything, hopefully. But we wouldn't have used the upgraded speed within that next design. It'll be the design after that we get that designed into, maybe. And if the next upgrade shape is the same shape as the next progression shape, that would be very linear. It would squeeze everything down into a very straight line of progression then. And there's also some chance that the next upgrade shape is completely different to the next progression shape. Or the progression shape after the next one is the same as the next upgrade shape. I have no idea what to expect and what we can cut out or anything like that. Can't wait to see what it is. Well, we're 60% of the way there already. Interesting. Might not make it today. Did say I wanted to do a short one today, so we might not go too much longer, but we will definitely look at what it is. And maybe work out a plan of how we make it. And maybe make it because, you know, it's one of those games where I just get addicted very quickly. And a short stream becomes a long one, despite my best intentions. Is this ticking up? So I guess I've got no choice, right? This hits 25,000, we hit the next level. The progression level doesn't consume the shape, it just triggers the unlock. So when we hit the 25,000, we're going to have 25,000 to spend on upgrades already, I think. which is cool. And then we just need another 75,000. With 8 full lanes, it won't take that long, will it? Best type of game. Yeah, it's a lot of the ones I'm playing at the moment are like that for me. Just really, I struggle in general with choosing a game to play and then motivating myself to open the game and get started. But this Shapes and Rift Breaker, which we're playing as well at the moment, once I get into it, an hour into it, I just don't even think about stopping without forcing myself to think about it, or looking at the timer and telling myself, oh, I'm going to stop at this time or whatever. Yeah. 24.8, 24 here we go. So yeah, it's the splitter we've had, which turns one line into 2, takes up 2 spaces. We've unlocked one that fits in 1 space, which is cool. It gives some good options for squishing stuff down again. The next shape needed, that's interesting. Unlocks wiring and the quad painter. Cool. Sounds like fun. It is a weird one. I'm not sure how you do that. That is a quarter square stamped on top of the shape we just made, but coloured differently. Fascinating. And weird. The complexity is going up. Yeah. Yeah. So we know how to make that shape. We just have to colour it in the middle before we rebuild it. Easy enough. And then that, yeah, you just stamp it on top, I guess. There's like nothing underneath it, but it's smaller, and that means it's on a higher layer of the shape, I think. Should do. We can choose one upgrade to do immediately. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. It's not going to change much. I mean, I'll upgrade the belt first. Cool. It wants both shapes. Okay. Okay. So we need to keep making the one we're currently making. That's good to know. But also make twice as much of the new one. Which we can't really do on account of the limitations. That does suggest to me we're done with the little green dude. Very much. Sounds like Green Monster is gone. Yeah, it does. I agree. What I might do is just wait for one of the other unlocks. We'll unlock it, and if it does the same thing, we'll get rid of the Green Monster. To free up the inputs. If we want twice as much of this, we don't have 16 inputs, so we're probably going to have to reduce the amount of these we're making. You'll see the gaps start to appear in the belt now because we've sped them up. So belts now go at 14 items a second, and we're putting 12 on them. So it's an extra 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We can take one of these lines and push it into the others and free up one input, but that doesn't really seem worth it. Especially if we still need this shape, I'd be more inclined to expand what we've done to cater for making more. Or just wait until we get the upgrades, I guess, and then we'll have more. I guess. Blueprint shapes haven't spread out. They must be backlogged in some fashion. Oh, no, they're overbuilt. Because we built them prior to a previous upgrade. So we have more machines here than we should, and are therefore producing additional blueprint shapes, which is cool. Very cool. Putting the full 56 in now. Cool. I wanted to see that, didn't I? If I'm on this screen, it's not paused, it is flowing. Cool. Good to know. Just wait a bit then, get to the 25. I don't know, actually. I mean, extraction's the least helpful. It just means we could use smaller mining patches, but in terms of changing the number of factories we use, it'd be better to change these. The cutting we overbuilt anyway, but the rotating we need to keep inline rotation. Mixing and painting. I'm going to go with this, cutting, rotating and stacking. Although, well, it's only like 4 minutes until I get the other one. It has done the same thing. It wants the same shapes. So, sorry, Mr. Green Monster, but we are done with you. That lags a lot with all that selected. Do I want to delete 4700? Yeah. I want the space back. Okay. So, our rotation now happens at 14, good. Our cutting now happens at 3.5. And stacking at 1 3/4. Those are awkward numbers to work with. But okay. It appears to have refilled the belt. Somehow. I don't think it should have, but it has. They can't be making 14, can they? I mean, what is it? 8, 1 3/4 is 14. So maybe that's by design. But we're not feeding in enough white stars, for example, because we're not colouring fast enough. And we're also not mining up fast enough, so we need the other upgrades. With the other upgrades, I'm going to assume it'll fill the lines back in. It'll all balance out to be 14 per second with the same number of machines, maybe. Which is a bit too linear, I think. It means I don't actually have to change anything in the old design, I just need to upgrade everything equally. And there's no reason I wouldn't upgrade them equally. Maybe if I'd built less to begin with, like only done 1 line of this, I'd have some motivation to make more. Don't know. It's interesting. Too linear. Yeah, like what I'm supposed to do next is no longer very open-ended. There's only one thing to do. Like there's no motivation to revisit this at all. It's there, it's done. I just build the next shape. And then presumably after that, I just build the next shape. And that's it. Forever. Which, you know, if you like building the shapes is fine, but up to tier 5, it was kind of like, you know, I'd have 5 or 6 different shapes. I could pick which one I did next and whether I went back to a previous one to make more of it and so on. So it's kind of, the further in we get, the less width there is to the game. It's all about one thing. It's interesting enough, you know, the challenge of making this new shape is interesting enough for me. I don't mind it. It's cool. Just gonna keep that pinned actually so I can see when we've got an amount. We want more of the new shape, so we also kind of have to cut back on what we've just done anyway. Like, regardless, we will have to have fewer inputs into the box from it in order to get more of the new one, which is also interesting. We just kind of overbuilt it, and that is what it is. Yeah, not sure on that. If the upgrades for all the machines balance themselves out so that the ratio remains the same, then we shouldn't build this much ever, because the next thing, if it wants more, we're going to need to build bigger and won't have the input on the hub. I don't think there's any alternate hub. You know, we don't get more than the 16 inputs ever. This is it. So I don't know. See, the output has narrowed, resulted in allowing less choices for me, what we do and in what order and how. So if I upgrade mixing and painting, same deal. Painters now go 2 1/3 on the painter, 1 3/4 on the double painter, so that is 3.5 times the 4 that we build. Yeah, balances to 14. with the same, without changing our layout at all. So these kind of layouts that are very tileable, you know, I can grab whatever it is, I can grab that much there, I can copy it, I can stick it on the front and keep going. Like, there's just no point in that, because the ratio of this building to the previous building is the same. Like, maybe I'm being naive here though. At the moment, we need 25,000 of this and 50,000 of that. That whole picture would kind of change if we needed 1 million of a particular shape, because it would take you so long to save that up that you would have upgraded your belt, and then it will be 5 hours before you upgrade your extraction. And in that time, your ratio is different, and you might rebuild in the meantime. Possibly. It's possible. Maybe that's it. Yeah, maybe that's... I can imagine it being scaling up, and maybe the next thing's 100,000 and the one after 200,000 and so on. Possible. Daunting, but possible. Let's just work in theory on this shape. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to play long enough to actually make it and feed it in, but work on it. I think this is easiest done with a square and a circle, rather than any other pre-built shape, because we could... Ooh, okay, no, 2 options. Dig up squares and circles, cut them into half essentially, but quarter so that we can rearrange them. But you've got half of a square and half of a circle in each shape, so you just take those elements and off you go. If you want 8 output lines, then you need 4 lines of circles in, 4 lines of squares in. Cut them each in half, stuff, and there you go. Trollbait, hello, welcome in. Nice to see you again. Hope you're having a good day. Whoa, you say. You enjoying my shapes as they flow in here? The other thought I had is if we get that shape, the football, why don't I build this so I can visualize it? What is this? Just some shapes. It's pretty neat and tidy. It's come together very well. Very neat over here how the bits come together. Had some help here on organising this cutter into restacking them to get the corner out. And 8 full lines come out the other side. It's pretty cool. Probably massive overkill, but still. Just, here we go. Rotate. How is it? Top right and bottom left. So top right and top right, bottom left and bottom left. Go big or go home. There's the extraction upgrade. So we're in the same position with everything now. Rebuilding the amount. And then we've got, but we need the next tier for all of them, and extraction presumably is now going to output at 14 items a second. Yeah, so we are rebalanced fully now that we've got all 4 upgrades. Can you show how that thing works? Your man was a failure. Well, it's not a MAM or anything here. In this case, it's just direct production of that one item. It's the only one we needed at this stage. So we only had 1 being made. But I can show you how it all comes together. Regardless, we got the 2 elements to it, the white star and the purple funny shaped thing in the background. The stars are all coming out here. The white is made from up here. We had the 3 colours kind of next to each other. Makes it easy. Make the purple, add the purple to the green, get the white, feed that onto the stars, and they're coming out on their 8 lines here. Meanwhile, over here somewhere, we've got a shape that has all we need. 2 quarter circles, a quarter square, and something we're going to throw in the bin. Oh, ad. That spoiled that. We'll wait for the ad to finish and I'll go back over it. Meanwhile, we need bottom right and top left circle pieces. Let's turn that clockwise and that clockwise. There we go. 3 hits. Longest ad break ever, just as we don't want it. Nope, I've gone wrong there. No, that's right. Top left, bottom right, good. Okay, you're out of the ads, good. I'm fiddling with that still. Let me head back over then, having fiddled with that. We'll go back over it. So the white star is the simple part of the shape. Stars come in on 8 lines, white comes in on 4 lines, because we have the double painter. So use the double painter to turn all the stars white, and off they go into the combining bit. Likewise, the 4 lines of purple are made over here. Everything we needed in a row. The shape confused me for a while, but we had multiple different options. All we needed is any shape that has 2 quarter circles and a quarter square, and the 4th element we're binning off. Obviously other ways of making that shape without binning anything, by mining up a different ratio of different elements and combining them, but this seemed, you know, as good as any option, and quite compact in the way we could bring it together. So they get dyed purple first. Before or after doesn't make a difference, so we did before because of where the colour was. And then in these runs, they're rotated to make it as compact as possible. So rather than like a wiggling between the stackers or whatever, they feed directly in with a single rotation here by getting the shape the right way round to begin with. As you rotate it, the outputs from the quarter cutter, you know, rearrange themselves. So this way we get a compact bit here, bin one, recombine the others, and then re-rotate it at the end so that it's facing the correct direction for the stacking. And then they join, you know, 8 lines of that run, the 8 lines of white stars join them. There's the combination of everything across 8 sections. 8 lines run in here. Which is, yeah, like I say, probably overkill. But it was good fun bringing it together, you know, on that scale and everything. Really good fun. It's all good. So this bit, the one thing is we don't combine them. Actually, I'm not sure I know how to do this. It's interesting. Bring that one in, and we get that much. Then we need to stamp the square on, but not... What'll happen if we stamp that on is we'll get the full shape all the same size. Yeah. Okay. There's a trick to the floating layer. Interesting. It hasn't taught me that, so I guess I have to work it out somehow. Can the game teach me that somehow? I mean, we can... how can we do this? You could... I might be going the long way around getting here, but I should get there in the end. If we cut these, just for my brain, rotate one of them so that there is some overlap and combine them. The some overlap creates the second layer. We can then rotate that counterclockwise and cut it. No. The floating layer then becomes layer 1, so you don't do that. You would... yeah, you can't cut that because it'll become layer 1. Interesting. Maybe that's not the way then. Right. Yes, you then need to stand... no, that wouldn't work. confuse me for a while, I'm sure. Can you do it by using the 5th layer? Don't think so. Not in a way that my brain can work it out. It's interesting. I mean, did it tell me and I just didn't read it? Seems unlikely. Seems very unlikely. Combine the quad with a circle piece. Combine the quad with a circle piece. Combine with the quarter square with a circle. And then how do you get rid of it afterwards? I guess it's, yeah, that's the bit I'm missing, I guess. It's getting rid of it afterwards. If we paint these white, stack those with a circle on a blue square. Oh, I'm very confused now. Paint that white, stack those. The other half is the rocket shape. Rocket shape? Rocket shape. Paint these white, like this. Stack that with a circle on a blue square. What does the blue square do? That's the bit I'm missing, I guess. Well, all of it's not quite coming together in my head, I must say. Cut them so that it stays with it. Right. Cut them so that it stays with it. If okay, okay. Right. Halfway there, in my head. If we don't cut the circle and combine it, then we get that. No, that's not what I'm after. It's not what I'm after because I can't then isolate that. I do still want to cut it, but I don't want the extra from here. Stick that onto... not necessarily there, but let me see that. No, that doesn't work either. That doesn't work because... I need to paint them. Okay. Interesting, I don't know how that changes things. Painting changes how it behaves when it stacks. Not seen that yet, I don't think. When you stack them, for example. Oh, that doesn't work. End up with that. You still can't get that square back. What I wanted was the overlap still, so for example, we're just overlapping differently. Even that doesn't quite make sense in my head. That creates that. You rotate, we just bin them. And then you get that much. Some of which is useful to us. If you need to keep the overlap until... well, even then I don't get it. Try and work in the colour that I'm supposed to be in, but there's no blue here. Can move somewhere else. 1 second. Circle, square, and all colours. This was half a thought. The other thought, before I lose it from my head, was getting a shape that's already closer to that. That doesn't really make any difference. It's how we get the floating square that's, yeah, going to confuse the hell out of me. These are the layers. The problem... Like, I can make both of those layers, but I can't combine them, because it just makes it one layer. Nothing in the game has told me how to do that. Or has it? I guess that's a question I would love answered, is did the game tell me how to do this and I just missed it? Or is it something I'm supposed to work out? Or is it something that I just have to Google because it just never tells you? Happens in some games. Over here we go. There I have a white. I want white circular pieces. I need grey square pieces on that. These don't help me with, don't think. It creates that, which I can't turn into that without removing part of the circle first. Even then, it's what I cut. So if I had 3/4 of a circle, I mean, I can do this with a lot of processes in between. If I have 3/4 of a circle, I put a square on the other half. Then I get a floating square there. If I then cut that in half, then the bottom part is useful to me and the top isn't. Can't use that. Then I also need to separately make the other one, unless I took half of these, cut them and reformed them. Like if you just rotate it, take half of them, cut them and reform them, and take the other half, rotate one of them 180 degrees and combine them. Then I rotate them one last time clockwise. That's an achievement. Oh, because it's the logo of the game, which I can't see from here. Okay, hadn't clocked that. Oh, and possibly having trouble with Twitch and the chat room. I haven't seen anything in the past 5 minutes, if anyone said anything. Thanks, Twitch. Apparently it's good now. Anyway, I made the shape, so I guess I can work it out from the game. Did I? How did I work that out? You're still there? Yeah, I thought you were fine. It's Twitch saying it's disconnecting from the chat room and reconnecting. Okay. Maybe there's an easier way, but this seems fine. It's not overly... It's similar to what we did before, cutting a piece out. But then we end up with a bit we dump. Can't quarter it, can't... There's no point in reclaiming any of it. And this seems a way to go in that... so the alternative possibility is here. Instead of halving this and doing that, we just make this shape from what's over here. Can do. We're binning a quarter circle, but we need one, and we're binning half a square, but we need one, which could work. Whether the game taught you this, I'm guessing no, I'd have to figure it out. Yeah. Like that Mastrobe puts it, the trick to making the floating layer hang around. It's interesting, but I guess, you know, I did work it out, I guess. You just have to keep it attached to something. If you detach that bit, it stops floating. So as long as you keep it attached the whole time, and as you say, you need to colour it before you do that. Okay. I mean, this whole process is okay. We make white, we colour circles, then just... we could take them quarters. We could take these halves, in theory. Cut them as well. Ratio's off, so I do need to delete something here. Delete the end will help. Rotate them to the right. What is the right orientation? Quarter it, top right, that's good. And then I need top left. That's good. Them in there. They could go instead of that, for example. Yes, here's how Trobet explains. You need 1/4 circle and 1/4 square. Stack them on top of a blue quarter circle. With the white quarter circle, stack those with a white circle bottom right. Top left part then gets cut off, replaced with the rest of the right. Yeah. Yeah, we're kind of with it. Not sure on the blue. Why did it just need to be a different colour? Blue quarter circle. No, I'm not missing anything there. Check the layers. 1/4 circle. 1/4 square, yeah. Chop it off, yeah. So, I mean, with essentially there, this is a way of doing it. Blue because it's part of the blueprint thing. Don't get that. This is the one we're making the top on, yeah? There's nothing blue on that. Blue because it's part of the blueprint thing. Interesting. I think this might be something I've not seen. Boost production with a functional part. Interesting. Might be something we've not come across. How you do that and what it gives you. Oh, I see what you mean. No, I see what you mean. You reuse those bits you're cutting off to make a useful shape, like a blueprint piece. I understand that. So you don't bin it, you actually just reuse it in producing something else. Interesting. Like how you could mesh that together. The bit you cut off is then... So what are we cutting off? This bit. Which could be... not sure how, but we could reuse it. It's always possible. Interesting. I wouldn't bother. It's that would confuse my brain for sure. And just mass producing things specifically, like this is blueprint part production. And binning, I think that works better for my understanding of my factory, how things are working in it. But that's very cool. This whole thing is very interesting. I would could have been poking at this for hours before I got there, but glad I did kind of bring it together. There's still just the question of, is this better than that? Which I don't think so. So the reason is this half square we can use anyway by just rotating it and feeding it in. So we don't have a spare quarter square. and we're binning off... What are we binning here? Half of a circle? Ooh, that's a problem then. The rate of, like, how many circles we need to dig up. The output here is just a quarter of a circle. Let me just stop that so I can see the elements. Brings up the waste versus output discussion. Yeah, it's the same, similar kind of deal. Do you maximize absolutely everything, or do you allow wastage just to keep things streamlined? Which, you know, there's no right or wrong in that. You can build either way. You can build both ways within your base. So here we have, I mean, that's maximum wastage is just reuse that. We are binning off a quarter square and a quarter circle. No, quarter square and a half circle is binned off there. Square and a half circle. So if we reuse part of this, would need to, yeah, the ratio is very complicated the way it's currently built. I'm not sure I could get that together in my head, whereas the other way from using this is very simple. Well, because we're bidding most stuff, a lot of it. For each circle we mine up, we are using a quarter of it. So if we wanted 8 full lines of the output design, we would need 32 lines of circles mining up. Which is not ideal. There is a better way of doing that, potentially, because we could take out the bottom left quarter of this. It's there, I think. Just combine them, and that was taken away. We stopped because of that. Let me do that. You try to make an integrated machine, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Very cool. Let me just put a little line of that. So by doing that, this still works? Yeah, because of how it cuts. So we've reclaimed quarter of the circle, which we could use in addition to this, if we get it the right way around. It's 180 degree. Okay. We're now just binning off a quarter of each. So if we wanted 4 full lines, 4 is an easier number to work with. If we wanted 4 full lines of the output shape, we would need 5 source lines of circles, I think. And then squares, quarter gets binned off there, but the halves go here. That is not what we'd actually do. We'd rotate that counterclockwise once to rejoin them. So half of a circle and half of a square go into this process, which is no good because only a quarter of a circle and a quarter square go into that one. So we're producing twice as many of this shape than this shape, and the whole thing will back up and stop. Okay, that's interesting. Are we? Am I right? Yeah, because we're binning that. We're binning that, so that has to be the case. So the way to balance it would be to bin that and bin that. And then a quarter. Yeah, I mean, the way to balance it is to bin a whole bunch of stuff, which we knew already. The system, yeah, is backlogged up. Just bin off some of them. Get it flowing again. Interesting. Hope if I binned out some of that as well. Okay. We reclaim these? No, because we can't cut them at all. That is definitely lost. Other than finding another shape that uses the same thing, that is no use to us. As I stacked it differently? No, because it needs to touch something. It needs to be on top of something. The square needs to be on top of something. So that's fine. Interesting. Really, really pushing my brain here. We could obviously, where we're binning it because too much is going to one shape, we could take half to go that way and the other half be fed into making this again, somehow. However that works, like reconstituting them into squares and feeding them to the beginning of the process would work. No, it can be done. Doesn't really seem worth the number of machines it would take to do that versus just binning it, you know. The problem is this being so wasteful. We can't do 32 full belts of, or 4 times as many full belts as output belts. I don't think. This flows fine, so it might be the way to do it. And you can save on that by just combining it into this process. Then it goes into that bin, just to simplify the process. Yeah, I don't know. Something about it bothers me still, that I'd like it to fit together better. Be more organised. I don't think that's the way of doing it. There's too much waste involved. This feels like there should be a way. Brain's hurting from this one. Yeah, me too, really. We won't push too much further with it. Don't want to overdo it. Survive the next ad break and then we might wrap things up. It's not really flowing either. Try to build an integrated machine for this shape. What's an integrated machine? What does that mean as a term? No real good description from the looks of it. Oh, can reuse that part. Let me just do this for my brain again. Oh, in the Discord. Ah, cool, cool. You got something you can post in there. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it'd be interesting to try. I really do appreciate the ideas and suggestions and stuff like that. It really does help. So yeah, when you got something together, do post it in there and we can take a look at it. Maybe build it out next time I play. Take a proper look at it. My thought on reusing this, not in this shape. You can, because each shape can have a maximum of 4 layers. If you try and create a 5th layer, the first one disappears. Or you can juggle things around like that using the 5th layer. So there's some way of using a 5th layer to reclaim part of that, but I don't think it'll really help us. Reclaiming everything else would be nice, though. Would be nice to only need an extra 1/4 input. So 5 inputs creates 4 outputs because we're just binning 1/4 of everything. No, that doesn't work. 1/4 of 5 isn't 1. Okay. Not sure how that would work then. We could get close to it somehow. This is only fun because they're going, but we can't reuse them. That quarter and that quarter can't be reused directly by just making that, but they can be reconstituted and fed back round. I mean, that's a way of doing it. You can with a complex splitter. To rotate it first. What's that making? Oh, that's making that. Okay. And then kind of. I mean, that's not an easy way to do the math on that. So for every circle, a quarter goes that way, 3/4 are fed into this. So that's wrong anyway. Oh, that's interesting. But then half of this is binned. That doesn't work because this... we've then got a quarter going this way and half of 3/4 going there, which is not the same amount, so you can't feed that in there, but you can... how can I do this easily? Like that. Rotate one of them, or yeah, alternate the rotation. Combine them. No. Oh, just whatever. Rotate one of them 90 degrees. That's what I'm after. That reconstitutes a full circle. Which can go in here. Like that. So a quarter of every circle goes that way, half of every circle goes this way, and half of that is binned. So a quarter of a circle goes that way and a quarter of a circle comes this way, and the output uses half of a circle. So the input is the output. Circle-wise. Squares in a minute. Circles for now. One circle in is one shape out, which is not, you know, you'd ideally have twice of the output because of the amount involved, but I'd be kind of okay with in is out. But the in here, so we've got one extractor making 2.8 items, but a quarter of all of those are reconstituted and fed back in. So at the moment we're feeding in 3.5 items into this system. No, we're not making new items. We're not making new items, no. That's not right. 2.8 come out of the ground and 2.8 go forward, so it's 2.8. It's just what I said. A quarter get binned. The other quarter is used, just at a quarter of the speed. I've not got enough machines to do this properly, but we could measure the in and the out. But the out is definitely not going to be 2.8. Is Twitch having trouble with chat again? All good now, apparently. Oh, and this is, in order to balance things, this has to do the same. It's definitely not the most efficient layout at all, but it'll do for now. They get reused. A quarter of each is binned, so a quarter of the 2.8 is going in the bin, which is the 0.7, so 1.5 are being produced. Right, 2.8 times 1.75. 2.1 should be being made. Yeah, 2.1 should be, if it doesn't work because I don't have enough machines. Something is working slower than 2.8, the painter is. So we can fix that with a second painter or a double painter. Sure. Put the double painter in there. Might not be making enough for this. That's a 2.8. 2.8. Double painter works at, find it, 3.5. Cutter works at 3.5. Stacker at 1.75. Okay, so that's slowing it down to the 1.7 that we're seeing on the output. So I need to, don't really have space to fiddle around, but I need to. Juggle that around and deal with that in a second. Wiggle everything everywhere. I'm glad the rest of my base is not this messy. That should be like that. They feed into there, into another one. They just need combining. One of them. No. Missing here. The output of those two should be the same shape. It is. Oh, not combining. Wait, what? Oh, there was some at the start of the belt that were messy because of whatever. Yeah, fine. Get that into there. There we go. I think. So I just need to flush some things around, which we'll do. Okay. So we've got the two there. We also need the square. The combining that with the square needs two. Oh boy. Let's send them up here. Just do that. This is not going to make any sense when I come back to it, is it? But I will. Do the same deal. That needs to be on the right though. Cool. That'll be the combined. Then we cut that in the top. Cutting is fast enough? Yep, good. Rotating is fast enough. That's not actually happening. Rotating again. Not sure what's supposed to happen there, but there we go. That shape comes in and we need two for that as well. Either way round, I guess. That's again rotating, I guess. There we go. Bunch of messes coming through, but okay. Stuff is moving again. So having doubled the number of stackers, potential throughput is higher. It's about 3.5 on every machine. Yep. These are slower because it's only a quarter going in, so that's fine. Likewise there. Seems fine. So the 2.8 out of the extractor are now being processed at maximum speed. Throughput. We're still binning a quarter of each, yep. And then another quarter of each is being reconstituted into the full shape and sent back round. So we should see an output of 2.1. Unless I've messed something up somewhere, which seems likely. Also, this shape is completely wrong. What is going on here? They're the wrong way around. They should be rotated counterclockwise once. This is intense, yeah, you're telling me. Also, we've got a bit of a backlog in some areas that could do with flushing. See if that helps. Is it the right shape? Well, it is, other than it should be pointing a different direction. But not that matters for the theory of it, but there we go. This is saying 5 a second? That is not possible. Ah, it's starting to... Right, backlog here. Does that need 2? It's half of them and a quarter of them. So it's a quarter of each, so 1 should be enough. But perhaps not. 1 should be enough. Because it's working at a quarter of the speed of everything. Okay, I mean, let's just try and... Might help if I kill them. Flush everything through again. Start it fresh in a minute. Okay, I mean, maybe it does need 2 for some reason I don't quite understand, so we can put them in. Ramble that again. No, didn't like that. Didn't line it up very well. That'll go into there, that'll go into there. Don't know what that was that, I guess. And that joins it. Okay. There's still stuff flying around. Can I bin off all of that? Right. That's the only actual bin we should have. So I'm going to remove that. We're good to reconnect. See how it does. I'm expecting 2.1. I'm getting 2.8. That's impossible, right? Yeah. If we're binning anything, we cannot output what we're inputting. We certainly can't output more. Ah! We're inputting 2 things at 2.8. Okay. We're inputting 2 things at 2.8, the number should be higher. And it's stopping at 3.5 because that's the maximum throughput of these machines. We need to build it neater and tidier and more like the finished product in order to work out whether it's what it's doing. All I really wanted to know is what do I need to put in to get 4 or 8 full belts out, or even let's say 1 full belt out. What do we put in? If we're binning off a quarter of everything we put in, then the number needs to be... Then if we put 1 in, 3/4 come out. I don't know math well enough for this. It's something very simple that as soon as I work it out, I'll be surprised I didn't just immediately know how to do it. It's like... something like this. Calculator. 5 1/3. Yeah, 5 1/3 in. That's how you do it. If I want 4 lines out, I need 5 1/3 lines in. No? Maybe? Yes. And if I want 1 line out, I need 1 1/3 in. Right, so if we had 1 1/3, 1 1/3, so if you put 3, if you wanted 3 lines out, you'd put 4 lines in. That makes a lot of sense because 1 is going in the bin. Quarter of what you put in. Okay. So if we planned on cutting back this previous shape a bit, because we've now got 320,000 of them in the time it took me to work all this out. If we cut that back and had 8 possible inputs, but we said use 6 of them for this shape, I'd either use 6 or 9. And actually, based on where we are and not needing anything else, why don't we scale it up to 9? So the idea would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 input lines. Gives us 9 output lines. 3 of them end up in the bin. Potentially. It's a way of doing it. There are others, and by the time I come back to playing more shapes in next week sometime, I may have come up with a completely different idea, who knows. But that would be good with me for a plan on what we do next. Nothing like how that looks. More like how this looks. But with these processes, first turn the circles white, then cut them, take part of that and reconstitute it into a circle and feed it back into itself. Stack the rest back together, stack a half square onto them, cut a bit and bin it, cut the remainder of the half squares, reconstitute half of them and feed them back to the start, and then take the other quarters that have made it this far and restack them, rotate everything as it should be, stack. It's a lot of processes. When you first look at that shape, you don't think it's going to be this much more complicated than the last one, but a lot of individual processes. We just put them all together. 12 input lines is a bit much, but there you go. It's only 6 of each colour in to make the white. Use the double painters. Somehow. We can do that. It's not crazy. I mean, it's half crazy. I think it's something in the middle of the night. Yeah, it's quite likely, isn't it? We just wake up in the middle of the night in a couple of days' time and be like, need to stream shapes and get this sorted. We'll see. Anyhow, I said like hours ago I wasn't going to go this long. Let me wrap the stream up. Thank you very much for joining me, everyone. Really do appreciate the company and the ideas and suggestions and everything that we've worked on today. We've got a whole bunch done. Progressed, tier 6 of everything now, and unlocking some stuff and making some fun shapes. That was cool stuff. Really pushing the brain though. Probably am going to feel that tomorrow, but we'll see. It was fun, yeah, it was good fun. Next stream when? I don't really know. We'll play shapes again next week. We have a problem of I'm not feeling very well at the moment, and I'm not sure when that's going to change. I think it's to do with the weather and stuff, so it could be a while before I feel better. And we've got some very hot days coming. Well, very hot. 30 degrees Celsius is forecast in this region over the next week. So I don't really know what I'm going to be capable of. Well, it's lazy. I don't think so, Mondo. I think I'm being fair to myself. Maybe. But yeah, the initial plan would be more shapes next Thursday. It's what it should be, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, follow. If I come up with anything firm, I will put it in the Discord anyway, so that's a good place to be. I'll throw down there if anything changes, but we will play shapes again next week at the same time of day for sure. Thank you, Jinxie. I'm sure it'll clear up soon. I'm just not sure about the next week, how that's going to be. I should be back tomorrow for the Rift Breaker, which is good fun as well. Another one I get absorbed into a bit too easily. But we should tomorrow afternoon play some Rift Breaker, but that again depends on the weather and what I'm capable of. 30 degree outside means this room will be about 34 maybe. Even now it's like 22 outside and I'm struggling in here. So it depends. If I can keep the temperature out, if I can use the fans effectively and get it out of this room, then that might be okay. Or we could just do a couple of hours, you know, and not push it, and then I can go hide with some ice cream. I wish I could give something more firm. All I can say is there'll be more shapes next week, and there'll be a stream in the next couple of days, hopefully. I'd like to get Factorio on Sunday at least. Like to keep up with that. We'll see. Ice cream is the plan now. I'm gonna find someone for us to raid into, and then I'm gonna go grab an ice cream for sure. What have we got going on today? Oh, the usual people. So there isn't, I mean, silly question, but there isn't someone else playing Shapes, is there? Oh, there is. Okay, that's unusual. Are they... no, not really. Starting soon? Or break? Or not even? Sek is playing Cities. Well, that's not a bad idea if I can spell his name right. I don't think I'm following Sek, but I don't... should be. I'm not. Okay, I should be. The City Skylines is a nice chill one. That's a good one. Firefox has crashed. There we go. Welcome back up. Bloody hell. Something about Twitch and Firefox is not going well. I'm not following Sek. I should be. They're part of our group, which means they're probably good people. And City Skylines would be good with ice cream, is what I thought. I thought that would be a good game to chill with. So why don't we head over and see Sek? And what they're up to. City looks cool. Looks fine. Been going 7 hours, so I'm not sure how long we'll be there for. Wow. Still, bit of support. Show it. Be good. Whatever you guys are up to after the raid, do have a good one. If you're facing high temperatures like I am, stay cool. Look after yourself, as I intend to. But appreciate the company today. It's been a really fun one. Really nice one. So thank you for being here. And hopefully see you again soon if I don't melt. Have a good one.